The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Week 10 picks against the spread, powered by DraftKings Sportsbook. Play and bet on DraftKings Sportsbook. Also, smash the like to the episode. Leave your favorite bet in the comment section and time code this for us. You got a favorite moment, you hit up those time codes so we can gather them all for a year-end best of, where you can laugh your ass off in the tub or something like that. Geoff Fienberg is in studio with me, as you were on Monday for the Masters preview show. Everyone should go check out the Masters betting preview show, the Masters DraftKings pick show. Both are available right now on Mayo Media Network. If you're not subscribed, you haven't hit the subscribe button on Mayo Media Network, please do that. That would go a long way into helping out the show, just like rating and reviewing the audio podcast. You look like you're like having a meltdown over here, COVID. What are you doing?
I just chugged some water late. Don't worry about me.
You're having a coughing fit. At least you covered up your mouth. That was very nice of you.
Thank you.
You ready for the Masters?
I am. It feels different and weird, but all great at the same time.
So if you want to hear more about the Masters, tune into the Masters shows. This is not a Masters show. I will be doing a live Masters chat at noon Eastern on Wednesday, though, on Mayo Media Network, if you want to go check that out. If you want to shop for the best props around, head over to FTNdaily.com and FTNbets.com. Free prop shop up there. And also on FTNdaily.com, you can find the Geoff Fienberg Show every Wednesday, every Friday, but not this Friday.
Yeah, it seems like we're going to do a live
Cut Sweat.
Live Cut Sweat Friday. But Wednesday night, like Masters Eve, as I mentioned on the Masters show, I'm planning on Skylar and Axis and Drew, and
The gang?
we're just going to, chat shit, free, ask questions, good times.
I like it. So yeah, even if you don't give a shit about golf, please go click on those shows so we get the extra clicks. All right, give it a like too while you're over there. I think that's all the housekeeping I have to do. Paul's behind the camera. The coin is in studio, and on the line is Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That's not my name. Hello, friends.
I figured you'd be more triggered about how like the Masters have split tees and they're going to
No, not in this year. Not this year. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You can't get ball bent out of shape about that stuff. The new cut rule is the tees. You just have to grin and bear it. The stupid new cut rule, because of the circumstance, you just got to grin and bear it. That's just the way it is. I mean, I don't know how it'll affect the cut show. I mean, last year's was the greatest ever when that guy took Tiger out and we were all watching it, and it was like the best live show ever. So will it be as good this year? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. The Masters cut show was always fun, and the Masters is always fun, even if it's not the most challenging tournament. It's still a lot of fun.
But hold on, you respect them essentially altering the cut line for no other reason than probably to accommodate a different sport entirely?
No, the cut, that and sunlight. I mean, I think that's a significant. Listen, in 2020,
they would have found a way. I think it was more football than sunlight.
Yeah, CBS.
Okay,
CBS is not having the Masters go into their 4:00 football games. Just
of course,
no matter how high of a rating that the Masters get, if it's Tiger versus Phil in a fucking playoff, Dolphins Chargers is going to outdraw the Masters.
And,
just what
Augusta knows that too.
But
Augusta
if it's
knows that
60
too,
and
wants to help their
ties,
partner out.
they just, as you said, they didn't want this doomsday scenario of like 74 guys making the cut.
Yeah.
So 50, they can
agree.
get 64, and they'll charge forward.
Well, it's
If this
only
were
50.
April,
But in
if this were
ties.
April, I'd erupt.
like 50
I'd
a year.
erupt if this were April. But I don't care. In this year, you have to accept changes that need to be made. Otherwise, you don't get a Masters. We're lucky to have one.
What if someone's wearing a hoodie?
That would be offensive. I saw EVR wearing capri pants in a practice round today, and I screamed at my screen.
He wears those every single week.
You shouldn't be allowed at somewhere like Augusta or St. Andrews to dress like that. Someone to tell him, no, dress like a real golfer, or go play the Muni next door.
Did you see Sandy Lyle wearing suspenders?
No. Tim's all for that. He loves suspenders. He's a fucking
That's
old
a
man.
throwback to Pete
enough.
Stewart.
Enough.
Pete Stewart used to wear
Enough.
suspenders.
We'll do enough. We have golf shows out.
Sorry.
NFL people don't give a shit. I just wanted to hype it up that it was there. Then you guys.
Well,
get
they
into
can
it.
just click the link to the next.
Shut
video.
up! Fuck! Trying to move on, you fucking asshole. Next, speaking of this, why don't we talk about the Monday night game then? Someone asked me not to talk about it, and I wasn't, but he's being an asshole, so let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely what happened here. You definitely were not going to talk about it, but now you decided, please.
Well, you took to Twitter to victory lap how good the Jets are, how they were going to go 8-8, and trying to draw out a map of then going to the playoffs. But here's
No,
what I want. Here's
no.
what. Hold on. Here's
That's not what happened.
Hold on. Here's what I want to ask you. If Flacco can put up this many points on the Patriots with all these weapons, I don't want to hear that his weapons suck anymore for poor soft-souled sham who can't play anymore.
That shows you, and I said this yesterday, and I stand by it, that offense for the first 3 quarters anyway was kind of what I thought we might get from this season, and that it was sort of like I said, a mirage, an oasis in the desert. Season is over. Things have not worked right. You saw at the start of the game talking about all the games lost to injury. That's a good receiving core. It still is missing something, but it's still a good receiving core. Flacco, who's washed and terrible, put up 27 points. But of course, when it mattered, he threw a terrible interception and they couldn't move the ball at the end of the game. I wanted that game so badly. I wanted it so badly. It's okay if we go 1-15, we win that game. No true Jets fan wanted us to lose that game. If you did, you turn in your fan card at the door. We all wanted that W. Just this one time. We were primed for some revenge. We were in our primetime blacks, which we're usually pretty good luck in. We covered the spread, so I guess in some sense we did play well. We should have won that game. It's just very, very frustrating to yet again have a game be yanked out from underneath you when you think you have a chance. I mean, I haven't experienced that as much this season as I have in seasons past because the team is so god awful.
What about me?
It sucks that we lost. I wanted to win. Pretty much looking at the schedule, I see a chance with the Chargers. I see a chance at the end of the year with the Patriots, and that's sort of it. 0-16 is like a 50-50 proposition now, maybe even slightly better than a 50-50 proposition. And that makes my my stomach turn. But it is what it is. Frustrating game. The offense at times yesterday looked electric. The Patriots don't have 2/3 of their defensive players because they've either not playing the season or sitting out. So take that for what it's worth. But for a moment, life felt a little normal last night too. I saw what I think come 2021 when we have the second most cap in the NFL coming into next season.
You have the most cap every year. No one wants to play for the Jets.
We should have a couple of big free agents plus a top tier quarterback. And things could be really, 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 really exciting next year. And yesterday was a taste of what could be if things go right. But in the end, like Lucy with the football, I'm Charlie Brown. I tried to kick it and it got ripped away from me. And I was like, at the end of the game, I was driving home and I was like, why did I do this to myself again? Like, they're 0-8. Why the hell did I get myself all hyped up for a game? But I did. I couldn't help it. I wanted it so bad. And then it all got taken away from me. And it's like, well, I guess this pain is normal and I guess it feels normal, but I also hate it. So thank you for having us relive this memory. Let's now move forward.
Well, Flacco has passed Sam Darnold on the rankings of best quarterbacks in the AFC East. I also thought it was pretty convenient that Darnold was going to play, but didn't have the guts to go into that revenge game on a Monday.
No, he's hurt.
The ghost. No, he's not. He's a fucking coward. You kidding me?
He's hurt.
No, he's not. Christian McCaffrey's going to play through the exact same.
Play professional football with his injury.
I don't play professional football. Christian McCaffrey's going to do it. I mean, shoulder or not, I couldn't play professional football. That's beyond the point. I don't see what the point you're trying to make here is. I'm not an NFL
trying to
quarterback.
make it sound like Sam is this marshmallow, and that's not true.
He's basically you. You guys have the same body type, and you're both soft.
See,
he's too afraid to play against the Patriots on a Monday night game. Just facts. I'm sorry.
No. You watch. This time next year, we'll be in a great spot.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
See, this is why listening to Tim speak, you'd think he was talking about a team that was like talented but flawed, like the Chargers.
Yeah.
And I will say, watching Tim tweet is the reason why people enjoy his misery, but I feel legitimately feel pain for me. Because he says egregious things. Like, in a year from now, we'll be clinching a postseason spot.
Not clinching. Not clinching. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
So we would take the lead in the division. That's just what I'm hoping.
Same shit. It's honestly, it all means
no, it's not.
It all gets warped into the same. Oh my God, he's doing it again. He deserves all the pain.
We have offensive pieces, Geoff. You can put your head in the sand and pretend as if those receivers aren't good. But you saw them. Joe Flacco was able to conduct them, and they scored 27 points.
I would like to speak for a moment, and then you say things like people try to get you going. And you believe that 8-8 is now possible, or a road is there to go 8-8. like when you think you're winning last night's game. So people don't take you seriously and they don't feel bad for you when shit really goes off the rails. I conversely feel like I actually get sympathy from our audience because I try to be far more realistic about the cards
this is the same
that I am
This
dealt.
is the same team coming into the year that almost every single person said was going to be the worst team in football, except for Tim, who had them going 15-1.
He also talks about this receiving core. He's the one with his head in the sand. It's 2020, bro. Like, what you have there is honestly dime a dozen.
It's like what the Broncos
Like,
have,
look what the
who have a bad receiving core.
Like, you go through every team in the league. Like, I don't want to do that math, but no, it's dime a dozen. Everyone's got everyone is stretched out with weapons. It's all about matchups and weapons. Like, you didn't invent something. You're actually way behind on it. And I'm telling you, the depth of that core isn't nearly what you think it is.
Yeah, when
The depth isn't there because they keep missing games.
When the best receiver on your team is like 10% better Cole Beasley, it's not great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, all those
I mean,
teams,
listen,
like even...
You saw it last night when the first time ever you talk about wanting your defense together, and yes, you have better players in your defense
I
than
don't
on
give
offense.
a shit. Sometimes
we
Luton,
haven't
Luton
had
played
our
well.
players
It
together.
doesn't matter.
It does matter. We haven't had our players together, and we still didn't really have them together because we didn't have Darnold in there last. I'm telling
That
you,
team across the field is horrible. You guys still suck. You should have won the game. It almost felt like you're tanking it, but you're still delusional about where this team actually is. You're delusional. They're not a 2021 playoff team. They're not.
Okay, fine, because that never happens. Teams never rebound like that. You're right.
The
there.
NFL allows for changeover. It does. But first overall, second overall to the playoffs, like unless Kurt Warner was coming in when Darnold got hurt, it doesn't work like that, man.
I can think of numerous examples, but anyway.
Give us 3.
Okay, Andrew Luck, the year he came into the Colts, first overall
That
pick.
was a
They went to the
team.
playoffs.
That was a team.
RG3, the same season. The Redskins went to the playoffs and won the division. Two teams that were terrible that
The
year.
Colts was circumstantial. They were like
Geoff shows up to the Rams. They make the playoffs right away that year. Like,
Did they?
every way you want to cut it.
no, they had Jeff Fisher and they sucked.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Or
about?
his second year. You're right. It was his second year.
And the Luck thing is, I mean, the RG3 thing, I will give him on that.
I
one.
will give him
the
Luck, I
Luck one
won't.
is just not fair.
That was a good team that
that their
like-
quarterback left.
Yeah, it's like that's
The Dolphins in 2007 were 1-15. In 2008, they won the division. Like, these things happen.
So it happens once every 7 years.
My point is, you say it never happens. It does
to
happen.
teams that have good cores to begin with, which the Jets don't.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Yeah, of course you do. You're an idiot. Like, what are you
Quentin Williams,
what are you thinking about?
CJ Mosley, those guys are guys that building around.
How do you know CJ Mosley's any good? He's not even playing.
Listen, I don't see what the point of arguing this is, like screaming at the tide, telling it to stop coming in and coming out. Like,
I'm telling you,
have a fundamental disagreement here.
In the AFC, I mean, granted, you get that first overall pick, your futures
Up.
like long term, where I would rank the Jets in terms of the big picture AFC, like changes. But there's a lot of teams that are in good situations. I don't think your roster depth holds to a lot of these teams, like Miami,
said we have 98,
Cleveland, San
the second
Diego.
largest
I
cap.
don't.
We can sign
San
whomever.
Diego,
We have
I
so much
believe
money.
in that.
Yeah, I mean, when have the Jets not have a bunch of money to go sign guys who fucking suck? Like, what are they going to
I'm
do?
just saying.
Sign Le'Veon Bell to a big deal again next
Yeah,
year?
We have
which
a ton of
running
cap,
back's a big
and there's
free
some
agent?
and there are big receivers who are going to be free agents this year. So,
Who?
Someone like Kenny Golladay, for example.
That's going to work out real well. They can sign Beckham too. They can have Galladay and Beckham.
I
See
think
how
he's
that
going to be
works out.
franchise Galladay, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right. How about we cheer Jay? How about we cheer Tim up a little bit? So
How do we
Tim,
do that? Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Well,
This is it, by the way. This
Yeah,
is basically
so-
the contest is over. This is like that scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where all the gold tickets were found, but nevertheless, he opened that bar of chocolate just on the off chance maybe it's there. This is what this is right now.
So what happened was I didn't realize this contest had ended. If people did not tune in last week to hear about Cust crippling McDonald's sticker monopoly addiction, then go back and watch that. You told us you spent over $300 this month on McDonald's.
It's only a month and it's only $300. Like,
Sorry, Tim Too Rich. Only $300 on McDonald's just to play in a lottery. You would have been better off just going and buying like breakers, trying to get 3 cherries in a row.
It was fun.
You could.
Was it fun? 'Cause
I
it
could
sounds
have
like
gotten you a
it's got
couple silver prisms. You'd have something to show for that 300 today.
Fair enough. I want red prisms. I don't want silver prisms. Silver prisms suck.
No, they aren't red.
want
They're
the red
red
prisms.
mosaics. But I want to
That's
ask
the
Tim
ones
a
I
question. In the card game, just as an example, people will. It's called sealed wax. Like they will keep a box of this year's cards, a high end box or low end, and they won't open it. Like they won't open it, and that in and of itself will gain value as Herbert, Burrow, Tua become.
Like my Blue Jays can.
No, but you actually know what's inside.
Just like your Blue
So,
Jays can.
is this like sealed wax? Like, should we just keep this for the long haul? It's worth that
No,
more
because
than we
the
pull.
contest because the contest you must redeem all prizes by December.
And what do you think is
So-
about to happen here, other than two like duds?
No,
That's
I got people who bought
precisely what
into
I
this.
expected.
I've already raised
That is
$500 of people who bought into the break on this. So Tim, if you do win on these, and it's a lot of money, you owe some people some money,
What's also funny,
or
about
you don't get it.
Tim's thing, which he mentioned last week, is he was like. If you pull a cheeseburger off that's a big win.
Oh,
'Cause
that is a
everything
big
else,
win.
Tim despises those, but he'd rather he's just gonna get double of a piece
Well,
of shit coupon he already has.
$500, who cares? Spend it on Monopoly stuff at McDonald's. It's Tim. Anyway, what do you need, Tim? What's the big one you need?
There's big ones in every.
Just give me
spot
give me one.
Confederation Bridge,
Okay.
Tunnels of Moose Jaw, Percy Rock.
First one, ready? We got Miles Canyon.
I already have that.
All right.
God, this is it.
Hold
This is the
on.
last one.
I have one in my pocket, Tim. Do you need Niagara Falls?
No, I got Niagara Falls. I need Chateau Frontenac for the blue. Dark blue. Sorry.
This one is
I hope it's a cheeseburger.
Parliament Hill.
Parliament Hill. I'm pretty sure I've got Parliament
It's
Hill.
a brown one.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up my map here.
Did you win anything over the last month of doing this?
Yeah, did you even at least get a free coffee out of
You
this?
paid $300 into McDonald's. Yeah, hopefully you got something. Like you get some free McDonald's.
I won a couple of free coffees and I won a couple of free cheeseburgers, but I don't know, I might not even bother using those.
This is,
I don't
I
care.
think, one of the lowest.
Oh, I have Parliament Hill.
Well,
Dang.
it's another
I need
year.
Rideau Canal.
Another year, another losers. What do you think lifetime you spent on McDonald's Monopoly game stuff?
I was more.
$5,000?
What's
No,
your normal month into McDonald's? Like, what do you spend at McDonald's a month average?
I might go twice a month on a normal.
So like $22, and
Yeah,
you went to
I'd say that.
300,
Over 300. It was a 300 last week.
and you would drive around town, looking,
That's a lot.
I had to make phone calls to find out what had the stuff.
and you're tweeting them.
How much did you?
Well,
spend?
yeah, I want a direct connection with them. I'm a customer. They'll talk to me.
$300 is a lot when you really think about it.
Yeah.
So like, if you
Eh,
spend
not really.
$15 per, that's $20. Or sorry, 20 visits to McDonald's over the last month, paying $15. Like that's pretty significant.
How are you working out? Like, how are you burning that McDonald's
90% of this is coffees. I have to say,
$300
Almost all of
in coffees?
coffees and DCs.
So
And,
you
I'll
go
buy
to
two at a time.
you go to your buddy's house, you bring a tray of coffees, you demand the stickers, right? Is
Oh,
that-
that's not how
I
that
peel
works.
them off.
No,
I peel them off. Yeah,
You peel
I
them
have to
off
start-
before you give them to people?
I have to because
You are
I know that
so
if I don't,
low.
these
You
people
are
will
so
take them from me
low. You are
they'll
so
no.
low. You
No,
are the
reason
worst
I do
type
it
of person.
Is because I know what they would hold. They would hold it over me, right? They
Well, it'd be
just-
theirs because you gave it to them.
Well, I haven't given it to them until the stickers are
their
gone.
coffee.
Oh my god.
It's their. The coffee is theirs. But
You're
like no,
worse
like
than
if
that
I'm on
guy
my
that
lunch
got
break,
out of the drug treatment center who was trying to hit up Paul for cigarettes outside earlier.
Like if I go through the drive-through on my lunch break, I'll get 2 coffees, just to double up.
Well, we're 20 minutes in. We should probably get to football and get away from the infinite sadness that this is likely causing people.
I think this is like, honestly, to me, this is lower than a lot of things he's gone into.
But participating in a popular game at a popular restaurant, oh yeah, it's very low.
It's
Yeah,
150 coffees
No,
in a
no,
month,
no.
Cust. Like that's.
I think it's a
Not just
little.
coffees. There's been several 20 packs of McNugs recently.
I
because of-
honestly don't assume people like actively participate. It's just that extra thing
If
to
you're
their out. Yeah, to the visit
what?
they're gonna make.
I used to
anyway.
love McDonald's Monopoly when I was 13. I would try to go to McDonald's as much as possible, collect the stickers because it's what kids
But I
do.
feel like when we were younger, you could get stickers on like lower end items, and now it's just
Yes.
on the bougie McDonald's items.
Except for hash browns. That's where your money is. I would get a few hash browns in the morning going through just to.
How much
those are the
weight
cheap-
have you gained this month?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
I've actually lost 3 pounds this month.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you lying to us?
No, I'm not.
How much more time have you spent in the washroom this month?
I don't think I have because I haven't been eating a lot of McDonald's. I mean, more than usual, but not a lot more. It's the coffees, it's the drinks. If I'm thirsty, I go through and get a DC. If I
That's
want
a
a coffee, I
really
make sure I go to McDonald's.
expensive. Just need a Diet Coke.
We
Well,
already
just
has
like-
them at home.
Once you've already sunk in $100, you might as well sink in 2. And once you've sunk in 2, you might as well sink in 3 because it's only a month anyway, and you're already they're like pot odds, right? Like if you're playing a game of poker,
You don't
and you're already in
you
for-
don't understand pot odds.
and I'm already in for 50, and there's $500 in the pot. If I lose a pot, I've lost $550 if I don't play. But anyway. Point
Oh
is,
yes, Tim does this. There's another person I know who would he'd come home from the casino and be like, "Oh, how'd you do?" He's like, oh, "I lost $6,000." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I was in a pot and it got up to $6,000." And like I was like, "Well, how much were you in for?" He's like, $20.
I
You didn't
worked
lose
okay, but I have every right
I
to
used
that
to
pot
work-
when I'm in it.
with a guy that when you asked him like, how do
you
you
want to be talking to Cam? Like, Cam, how much you lose? 10K? It's like, how? Oh, I flipped someone a coin for 10K.
No, more like I lost like $5,000 this weekend. What do you mean? And then he mentions like some 8-game parlay. Well, how much did you put on the parlay? Like $8. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
No, but you get what I'm saying. About
No,
pot
yeah,
odds.
but what you're
Like,
saying
once
is-
you're in for enough,
I
you should
feel
continue
like you don't understand what pot odds are.
you
So you
should
should probably stop
continue
talking
to
about it.
pursue. When you should continue to pursue it.
So at any cost, you continue to pursue if you're already in, is
no,
what you're
not at
saying.
any cost, but there is a point at which you say, okay, I might as well invest this little bit extra because my chances of winning are high enough that it's worth it.
Yes, your percentage chance in terms of relative pot odds, what you need to invest more needs to match up with the probability of you winning and to make that a good bet. You playing McDonald's Monopoly where you never win is not a good thing to sunk your money into.
Yeah, but I keep a close tab on how many people have won the big prizes, and there hadn't been that many, and there have been lots of tickets won. So I thought by this last week or so, my chances had gone up exponentially.
You just need to find the McMillions guy. Get him to cut you in.
no
No,
offense.
that was rigged.
You've picked a real nut low game to get involved in. You'd have been better off taking that $300 into the Millie Maker this week.
I'm in the Millie Maker this week.
No, but I mean, like that is like the probability of getting anything other than
A free coffee.
yeah, and you're actually mad with a free McFlurry, which is legitimately a great score.
I want to win.
You did win, Paul.
I mean, based on his, free money teasers and stuff, I don't know if his odds of winning any actually legitimate games are any better than that, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
that brings us to the recap of last week. I won the week at 500, 7-7, putting me 2 games above 500 because this year is just going so well. Geoff was 5-9, 64 and 68. Tim and the coin were both 6-8. Tim is an even 500 for the year, a game back of me. The coin was 6-8 as well, 59 and 73. Geoff continues to run his Superlock up, 7-2 so far this year. I fell back to 4-4. Tim is 2-7 as he is on his what?
So bad at those this year.
It's tough on it. I will give you some leeway on that one. It's tough to pick a winner on a Tuesday when like half the time it's like, oh, the quarterback's not playing anymore. Great. Can't change your bet. However, you're also 2-7 on free money teasers.
No, I'm alive and Survivor still.
You are alive in Survivor. That's true. You got a long way to go. I'm not going to lie to you.
I do, but we're past the halfway point now, and I've managed to navigate around a couple of landmines.
So you're 2-7 with the free money parlays and teasers, bringing you to 8-74 lifetime. Congratulations.
I know I say this all the time, but my tease this week is a slam dunk, and like it should be illegal for me to get this tease.
Are you actually going to bet it, or do you have no
Yes,
money
I am.
left because
I
you
can't-
spent
I
it at
can't not.
McDonald's?
I can't not. I can't see this thing losing.
You sent me a
su-
screenshot of the ticket after you actually.
I'm
bet.
recommending people double up.
I'm
On
gonna
this.
bet it. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what it is. It's Master Sunday. I'll get it. I'll get in.
But
unless
but
it
not
really,
as much as that guy
unless
who
it
put his
really
rent
bothers
check on
me.
my free money teaser that time.
No, not quite that. I went 5-11 by 5-9 last week, Pat. I went 3-0 in prime time. Sunday was an unmitigated disaster for me.
But you hit the Fienberg teaser.
I did. I showed discipline in my betting because I knew the board reeked, but I was horrible. I didn't know anything. Like Sunday, I was 2-9 in terms of ATS.
But you got the Saints. It's the one that mattered. As I explained to Tim last week, the game he was most confident about was the only plus money game that he had. He could have just bet that.
And I was so
won.
confident of it, I didn't take it as my super lock because I'm a dum-dum.
I took it as my super lock, and
I should've.
it made me feel extra. Like not only was it my super lock, like it played out like a dominating performance, so it made me feel extra locked.
Thursday night, Indy at Tennessee. Titans favored by 2, 48.5 is the over-under. T.Y. Hilton might play in this game. He's trying to, at least with his groin injury. He's yet to practice so far this week. Maybe get something in on Wednesday at this point. It is really kind of a middle-of-the-game road for the Colts. Like, they got to win this game if they want to be taken seriously. They're probably still going to make the playoffs. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But I have not been impressed by anything that they've done in, a month and a half? Have you?
Not really, but I'll say it's more than a middle, however you're defining this game. They win this game, Pat. I believe they go to first place in the division because they would tie the Titans and they would now take the first leg of the tiebreaker.
How many losses are the Titans?
5-3 versus 6-2. Titans win. They go to 6-3 both with the Colts getting that slot. Give me Darius Leonard. Give me the Colts here. I might make my own teaser this week. I'm not condoning one on the show, but it will probably start on Thursday with the Colts. This is going to be a close game. I wish the Titans were, I don't know. I wish I was getting the full 3 because I do believe the Titans should be probably being given it, but I think the Colts.
The coin is
just explain to me why I'm taking the Titans.
Yeah,
I should be getting the full 3.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans too for almost exactly the same reason. I think the Titans are a better team.
I kind of do too. I think they should grind Indianapolis down. We saw the Colts play Baltimore last week, who's a tough, physical, slow you down team in Indianapolis.
Jonathan Taylor
couldn't do a thing, and their quarterback is holding them back. And I think if they lose this game, I think it's time to make a change on the mini bye. I can't see Rivers starting after this week.
They're not going to bench Rivers.
They're probably going to make a change if he loses this week. He's probably going to get benched.
He'd have to play poorly and lose. If he plays, because listen, the floor is low. But if he plays his best game in a few weeks.
Oh, well, sure. I agree with that.
Then they're not going to. Although he had a great game. Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. He was dropping dimes. But yeah, I agree.
Detroit, yeah. But
he was horrible last week. Jonathan Taylor is the reason they lost.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
the
didn't
Colts have a
cover.
stretch here.
Yeah,
sorry, I lost my teaser because of Jonathan Taylor.
Not win. The fact they didn't cover the teaser number was thanks to Jonathan Taylor.
I had it at 8, and they were down 11, and I knew before like a 3rd and 6, if they got it to 4th and 1, it would really screw me because they'd have to go for it. Yeah, it happens.
But you can also say it on the other way too. Like Gus Edwards got stripped on like the 3-yard line when he was about to plunge in for a touchdown a little bit earlier.
So this is the heart of the Colts season. It's Titans, Packers, Titans the next 3 weeks.
They'll probably win the one in Indy. This is going to be. Doesn't 48.5 seem really high? The Colts defense is good. I get the Titans defense is not. Are they saying like, oh, they're not going to stop Derrick Henry?
I think that is what they're trying to impute here. Like I said, I'm going to take the Titans without any confidence. I mean, according to the stats, Indy's a much better team, and I don't know that I believe that, but that's what it says.
Sunday, Jacksonville at Green Bay. Oh boy, minus 13.5. The Packers are favored. Luton free is starting at quarterback again. It looks like 52 is the over under. I can't get the Packers right on these big spreads. It feels like they should really cover this game. But I have no real lean on it, though. Like
the way you make it easy, you tease them down 7 points. The first end of a money line tease, you get to tease them down.
Yeah, but I've seen Green Bay also be favored by like 17 points at home and like lose the game by 3.
Yeah, but this way they only have to win by 6.5.
Yeah, but I've seen them outright lose these type of games too. Like,
yeah, they're not going to. And for that matter, Green Bay is alive for me in Survivor, so that's why I'm playing in Survivor too.
And you tease them down 7 points?
Yeah, it's a 5-team, 7-point tease this week. And I like Green Bay to cover that number. Jacksonville's putrid. They're as bad as the Jets. You could flip a coin between them. Neither team has performed well this season. Like Geoff has been saying for weeks, Jacksonville is dining out on that week 1 win, which I think, to give him credit, he said that would happen with one of these teams this year, and it's been Jacksonville.
At least Jacksonville
I think
covers spreads.
This spread is too short, in my opinion. It should be 17. You're only getting to have to lay 13.5. I think the value is significantly on Green Bay. Give me the Packers.
Here's the problem. The Packers have one of the worst run defenses in the league. If the Jags can stick to somewhat of the same game plan as they had last week, and it's not like Houston wasn't moving the ball all over them. They were. They were able to just say, you know what, James Robinson, go out and get me 4 yards of carry. And that's essentially what he did. It kept the game moving along, and they were able to move the ball enough on the ground that they could take a shot or two. I think the Jags covered the 13.5. I think they have enough big play guys that when they're down by a bunch, that Luton can go full Bortles and just bring them back when they're down by 27. It's like, oh, he looks great in the fourth. Drew Lock style, almost. That I'm going to take the plus 13.5 with Jacksonville on the road.
Jacksonville will go for a fourth down that they won't get, trying to keep up. Therefore, they won't come close to matching the scores. I'm not putting much thought in it. I'm not looking to bet it. I'm not really thrilled. It's the first game Tim mentions for his teaser that I said I would support him with this week, but I guess I'm there with that. I'm going to take the Packers, though.
Tampa Bay at Carolina. Tampa Bay favored by 4 on the road, coming off a very visible beatdown from the Saints. Sunday night, 50.5 is the over-under. Carolina almost got there against the Chiefs. They needed an onside kick, or they needed to make like a 300-yard field goal. Didn't happen. But they can, even in the first game with these two teams, both DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson went for over 100 yards. Tampa Bay beat them, obviously. But are you worried about Tampa Bay, or is that just one of these things? Just like when Tampa Bay beat down Green Bay, and then Green Bay looks fine the next week. Is Tampa Bay just going to come out and stomp Carolina? Because I think they might.
I have not picked Tampa Bay on this show at all much this year. I'll pick them this week, though. Whoa. It was like my self-diagnosed Tourette's really hit me there. I like Tampa. I will acknowledge that I missed it last week. The books probably didn't account fair enough for McCaffrey's return.
And now McCaffrey's like 50-50 to play. It looks like he's going to play.
Yeah,
but he has the same injury as Sam Darnold, which apparently is impossible to play through.
He got like
quarterback, running back are the same position.
I mean, one guy gets hit and the other guy doesn't.
You know what? I actually saw the play that McCaffrey got hurt. It was kind of like the same body slam takedown that Darnold got hurt on a few weeks ago.
And then McCaffrey came back into the game.
Yeah.
He's a running back. He doesn't have to throw.
I look forward to betting Carolina in the future, but this is a spot game for the Bucs after being embarrassed on primetime.
The thing is, it seems so short, like only 4.5. You'd figure it'd be larger, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
no,
but Carolina looked cool. The Carolina, it was like one team got dominated, and in a betting public size, Carolina won. They lost to the Chiefs by what, a point?
2.
Tampa barely climbed over the finish line against the Giants on Monday night too. Like, that's 2 games in a row that Tampa's played in spotlight, and Tampa has come up short.
And not to sound like a dud, the Chargers could have whooped Tampa. They suck. Carolina beat the Chargers. Like, I don't like.
And when they crushed the Raiders didn't have an offensive line.
There's a lot of like A's to B to C that could say, I don't know, Carolina can hang with these guys. I think we get some toy explosion from Tampa this week.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm taking Tampa Bay too, and I assume Tim, your Super Bowl pick you're taking.
Yeah, clean sweep. I certainly can't back away from him yet.
Yeah, the coin is taking Carolina. Home dog, though, in division. Could be a 3-point game. Who knows? Is Antonio Brown going to do anything this week?
Probably
not.
Yeah, no, probably.
It's a good way to get him going, it seems.
And why can't DJ Moore, why can't DJ Moore get the ball?
Because they are giving it to Curtis Samuel. Apparently, there's like a weird split that whenever Russell Okung has played this season, DJ Moore has gone off. Also, I think that Teddy Bridgewater has covered over 70% of his games in his career.
Makes sense, because wasn't he on that Vikings team that he started his career as like an 80% cover rate?
Teddy is really, really, really good.
He is
It's
a
just
lot
the
better.
fact.
He throws a better ball than I gave him credit for, and I really besmirched. Like, I don't know whether it was just a guy trying to make headlines, but there were a couple like Charger sniffing Teddy Bridgewater free agency stories that I like was repulsed by.
I mean, he would have been better than Tyrod.
They had to spend all that money on Parham.
Parham, your guy. Philly at the Giants. I can see we're just motoring through this to get to the main event. Giants are 3.5-point dogs at home with Philly coming off the bye week, who's not been good coming off the bye week since Doug Peterson's been their head coach. I believe they're 0-3 against the spread. 44 is the over-under. We saw this game a few weeks ago, and the Giants should have won. It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones got knocked down by the wind, not the soccer team, the actual physical wind.
No hands. You're not the goalie.
Philly, it seems like they're getting everyone back, except for Deshaun Jackson, but like they're getting healthier. The week off really seemed to do them well. Like Miles Sanders could be back, Alshon could be back, Reagor came back the week before. Ertz is still on IR, but it's another week to get Goddard going. Maybe the offensive line gets some help. The Giants have looked good the last 2 weeks.
What's the Giants' record?
2 and something.
2-6 in the last 3 weeks.
And
So
they
they're
beat
a
Should have
half
beat the
game.
Eagles.
So they're half game
They
out of the
should've beat the
division.
Sorry, stop. Let me make my point. They're 2-6, and their 2 wins are against one team.
Yes.
Who are they playing this week?
Not
A
that
different
team.
team. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they can't cover the 3. These 2 teams usually play very close games.
I like the
Yeah.
Eagles.
They should have beat the Eagles. They should have beaten the Buccaneers. They beat Washington twice. They were, in a very tight game with the Rams, if memory serves. The Giants are 2-6, and they're not great, but they're not like atrocious, despite their record being atrocious. And the Eagles, while being 3-4-1, are not as good as their record. Anyway, the Giants are on the teaser. We're going to get through all kinds of key numbers to get them up to 10.5. I expect this to be a close game, and either which way you want to pick it, straight up, I can support. But we're definitely going to play the Giants here at home, divisional game. You get to play with 10.5 points. Again, lock it in.
I'm going to take the Giants plus 3.5 as well. The coin's with you, though, Geoff. Philadelphia coming off the bye. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. This game is currently off the board at time of recording because Ben Roethlisberger is now in COVID protocol, a lot like Matthew Stafford was last week. So if he tests negative like every day up until Saturday, he can play on Sunday. They expect him to play on Sunday right now unless he ends up with a positive test. So I'm going to take the line from last night. This is the Ben Roethlisberger line. It's -7.5 Pittsburgh at home. 47.5 was the over-under. Again, you can't find this right now. Are we going to see, have we got like the Steelers explosion game yet this year? We haven't, have we? Like the Ben, I'm going to throw for 6 touchdowns, that type of
I'm
game?
not certain that it's in them.
Was the Claypool 4 touchdown game count or no?
Who was that against?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Was it against the Jets? Did they play the Jets?
No.
Seems like something happened to the Jets.
I think it's the Bengals.
No, they haven't played. This is the first game against the Bengals.
Looking them
Browns,
up.
maybe?
The spread seems high.
Could have been against the Browns when they won 38-7.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, I think
The
yeah.
spread is high. They have been living dangerously for 3 straight weeks. Should have lost to the Titans.
Bengals getting a
Saved
little
the
healthier,
last
right?
3 weeks.
What do you mean?
the
When you say they should have lost to the Titans, you mean the game they were winning by like 28?
They could
points
have.
in?
Okay, let me revise. They've won the last 3 games at the gun, with 3 things going their way at the gun. So, like, they remind me much of like Seattle looked earlier in the year, or Buffalo, that they're sort of living a charmed life, and that sooner or later their sloppiness is going to catch up with them. I'm not going to say it's going to happen this week, but the Steelers, I think, are more apt to have a complete flat game than they are to have a big offensive explosion against the Bengals. So I'm taking the Bengals against the number, pardon me, of 7.5. I think the money line is live. I'm not going to tease it up only because
Who cares? You're
I've
scared?
been getting Pittsburgh wrong enough, and plus I can't tease a game that isn't on the board, so can't do that either. So for all those reasons, I'm going to take the Bengals. I think the number is too high, and I think that Pittsburgh is. I mean, you can't say an 0-8 team is fraudulent because that's not fair because they're not.
8-0.
But like,
You're thinking of the Jets.
but if it's them and the Chiefs in the playoffs, you're out of your mind to take Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh D is the thing that's the best unit in this game. It has been the best unit all season long. Like, should they have
Sure.
lost? Should they have lost to Dallas? It just seemed like they were coasting the entire time.
Coasting because they're whatever, right? The fact of the matter is the game ended at the goal line, as it did with Baltimore, as it did with Tennessee. Like, you can't keep winning games like that over and over. Sooner or later, you get bitten.
What about if you keep losing games like that? Are you supposed to get one? Just
asking for a friend.
Just asking. Just asking.
Yes, you are. Yes,
I'm
you
going
are.
to take the Bengals.
So it's a round of Bengals, coin included?
I think when this goes off, it's like 6.5. If you break down the Bengals' losses, they play pretty close. This is the one game you mentioned, like Pittsburgh, that defense amazing. Could Burrow like backdoor this? Could just as likely end in a pick six the other way. This is the first meeting, you say?
Yeah.
See, that scares me because I believe there's a brand in the AFC North that doesn't really exist other places.
No, this is just anti-Burrow nonsense now. This is where we're going. This is campaigning.
Who bet the Bengals the last game they won? Who bet who picked the Dolphins last week?
There's no need to do any campaigning because Herbert might have to concede if he loses this week.
There's no listen. You can say whatever you want.
Count all the games. Count all the games. Only valid games count.
I got a future that I'll take. I could get out of any time.
But you're not going to get out of it, so it has to win.
No, I could buy.
That's the point.
You're not going to hedge out of it. You're going to ride it.
No,
till
if they
it
go
wins.
to like the off season and it's like a pick'em or something, I would probably get out of it. I got a lot on it, but I can be patient. So that's a winner. You can't even trying to throw that in my face. Honestly, the people see through that. Now, I'm not anti Joe Burrow. I picked Tua to win last week. I thought
you only picked him to win so it could enhance Herbert's rookie
No,
case
but
when he beats him this week.
You could see the messages to even one of the people I talk about that is a rival Dolphin fan, like a good friend of mine. I'm like, I don't buy. Everyone's loving Arizona this week. I don't buy that one iota. Arizona last seen in primetime beating Seattle. And the spread is like moving. Like people are just throwing on Arizona. I was not there.
And they didn't factor in that Tua just, like I said last
wins,
week,
just wins, right?
Inspires his teammates to be great.
I got Burrow Tua. Let's all be great. Let's all revamp doormats. I'm not holding anything. This is the guy that's still like holding a war. He's Trump. He's still trying to win an election he lost 2 years ago. In terms of ranking his cornerback class.
I was thinking about that the other day.
But
do you think that Darnold and Baker aren't good because Tim wanted Baker to begin with? And that cursed him to begin with, and then he got on to Darnold, and then that cursed him.
What about Rosen?
And Rosen's your guy.
Look at how I felt about Phillip Rivers. And he was the third most successful quarterback of his class. And look how I fell in love with him.
Maybe you just like losers.
I like Tony Finau.
You love losers.
And Ricky. So yeah, that's part of it.
Aren't they both Ricky? Big and little?
They're both Ricky. Where was I?
You were taking shots at Joe Burrow before I
No,
highlighted to the
I
people.
wasn't.
This was campaigning for
No.
that RO Rookie of the Year
My
award.
point being is like, as long as Herbert is good, everyone's fine by me. I'm not engaged in some battle. For the purposes of this year and a 16-1 future, would I like to come out on top? Of course. But I got these cards, Pat. They just sit in a drawer now. Like at least Pokemons you could play with. Like as a joke, I messaged my buddy who's like hardcore deep into cards. I'm like, so now what?
What kind of cards?
Magic the Gathering?
No, like sport, like the sports cards.
Yeah, what do you do with them?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so I collected them, I hunted them, I received them, I took a picture of them. Now what?
You like sports and you don't care who knows.
So it's a round of Cincinnati for us?
Yes, but I do believe that's like the AFC North. There's like a rivalry thing that exists that doesn't exist with other divisions, really. I believe that. You could tell me that's an anti-Burrow take, but I believe that just as a whole.
You like have a super PAC against
Joe Burrow.
And probably Tua at this point. Got to divvy up the money a little bit. Hit those different states. You can't focus all your attention on the one state. He's going to leave Tua all the way. Undefeated Tua.
Listen, Joe Burrow's a star. And Tua has been in. Everyone gets graded on a curve. Tua got more time. He got to practice. He got to feel it more. But anyone just trying to say I haven't seen something yet, because like we haven't seen plays, like we were supposed to tank for this guy. Why haven't I seen it? He just outdueled Kyler Murray on the road in his second start. Like, that's all you need.
You can't say that. You don't want to get Tim too ginned up this early in the show.
No, but
Tim's hate was seething on Sunday for Tua.
okay, we'll get there. But I am not.
28 passes. Yeah,
I don't
he's Moses
like-
parting the Red Sea.
I need to toss down this, throw buckets of cold water on this, because I can't let that grow. I
mean,
do
are Dolphins
acknowledge
fans breathing easily now, or are they still not breathing easily? Because I mean, that was your statement, not mine.
there's no doubt they were like watching Herbert tear it up, and they'll see firsthand. And he didn't look like, there's still questions about Tua, but if the team is great, a game manager is fine. If they have a great coach,
That's all he is. He's a game manager.
If they have a great coach and a great defense, he doesn't need to carry a team like Justin Herbert does at the moment.
He's not carrying
And Joe
them. He's
Burrow
only
does.
carrying them to losses.
Sure, but you know what I mean, like carrying them to competing in the game.
He's carrying your fantasy team.
Sure, but the same
Is he the fantasy guy?
the same way
Is he the Sean Marion of football?
get out of town. The same way like Joe, like I'm just saying it's different. Like there is a healthy, complete, well-coached team in Miami that the units are stepping up for him for. And I want everyone to be good as long as Herbert's good.
But if Herbert's bad, you don't want them to be good?
Well, it's different because I didn't get a pick. Like, it's different when you get left the pick than when you make a pick and pass someone over. I'm out there, Pat. I'm in this world. I speak, like I'm doing hits in Chicago. Bear fan, they're so jealous of what I have. They're so jealous. They're like, I watched that and it's like, wow. That's because they went to the podium first and they effed up.
This has like the makings of a people say, insert your quote. Are people really saying this to you?
Yeah.
Or are you just like conjuring this?
No, I'm not.
If someone says, hey, the Chargers look pretty good, you take that as, my team sucks, Herbert's the best.
No, it's Bears fan on Chicago radio being like watching how the Chargers executed a draft pick makes me sad.
Executed as in took the guy that they were left?
Yes, but if you read, yes, but hold on, because see, now you laugh. You pretend like I don't read into this stuff, and especially this week, it's gotten attention. It's been deep dived by some people. The Chargers on the outside of the deep dive were apparently, and it's easy to say after the fact, were unequivocally convinced Miami was taking Tua. Now they could say whatever they want. They would have taken Tua if Miami took Herbert. But they said they didn't feel a need to trade up because they felt that they knew exactly how it was going to play out. It's easy to say that, but this is something that could be talked about because it's a fun game, and we'll get to it later. And the Bengals play the Dolphins later too this year.
Ooh, that could be the game, Paul.
For Rookie of the Year, right? Because Herbert will have 0 wins.
Exactly.
Just wondering if any Herbert prisms will be up for offer against for bringing out the injury cart against Tua this week.
No, but I was
Nothing
thinking
available?
if Rovell goes
Keep
down
going,
this
though.
weekend, I'll put one up for auction.
If someone just takes out Rovell.
Yeah, I don't know if he slips. It's not icy yet, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it's cold in some places. Not here, for example. It snowed. I freaked out because it snowed. And then all of a sudden it's been like balmy middle of the summer weather.
No.
It's great.
It's so like not even close. Tua is come on. He's a great person, a leader. I got no
And a quality
beef.
game manager, according to you.
At the moment, that's what he's shown. But I'm a guy that
I agree with you.
I have
agree with you.
but I have a patient approach. You're saying he's a game manager after 2 games, therefore he's a game manager forever. You're insane to say that. I'm saying that's what we've seen. And people who are like, I haven't seen like plays worthy of a guy to tank over. I say you got to just chill. That's my point. You're drawing
Yeah, maybe
conclusions.
he'll look good eventually. Yeah, right.
Houston at Cleveland. We still got that game to come up. The Browns are favored by 3.5 at home. 52.5 is the over-under. The Browns are coming off the bye. We don't know if Baker Mayfield is going to play this week, as he too is in the COVID protocol. So we might get Case Keenum. I don't really think it matters either way. The big thing for the Browns is their defense appears to be at full health for the first time all year, and Nick Chubb is back. Give me the Browns here. The Browns smashed the Texans. Come on.
Party with you here. I don't know if we've been on the same side except there've been some consensus. I like the Browns. The Browns off a bye. Texans, they got backdoored by Loughton, and you're hoping he can do the same to the Packers.
Sure, but
this
the
week.
Texans are also 1-7 against the spread. Like they're bad.
Yeah,
They're a
yeah,
bad team, and they have like the worst run defense in the league. And when Cleveland actually wins games and looks good, it's because they run the ball 55 times down your throat.
It's true. And the last time we saw Cleveland, it was like the windstorm game versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
I really love the comeback versus the Bengals without Odell, and Baker spread the ball around. I believe playing the Texans allows them to be able to do that. And if Roby doesn't play for the Texans, who's not only their probably best defensive back, but he is graded out as one of the better ones in the league this year, one of the lone bright spots on the Houston defense.
Yeah, but here's the joke. Who's he going to cover? Jarvis Landry, who can't catch?
Well, yeah, that goes to your point. That always works in favor of an offense like Cleveland's. Take out Jarvis Landry. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. So, Tim, it's a round of Cleveland, except for you.
No, I'll take the Browns here. I guess well said. The Browns are a bad team that beat terrible teams, and well, the Texans seem to be that.
I never said the Browns are a bad team. You are the only one of the three of us that
I think they're a bad team. I think they're a team that if they get into the playoffs are going to be ripped apart as a 7 seed, right?
There's a lot of 7 seeds that might get ripped apart.
And I think it's also really dependent on who they play. I think
Well,
there are
fair
some
enough.
good matchups for them just because they have the one elite thing where they can... And their defense should be much better than it's been. And now that they're all healthy, it could look good all of a sudden. And if your combination is great defense and running the ball, now you're just the Ravens.
Tim
when
is being very disingenuous.
When they played the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Raiders, they scored 6 points, 7 points, 6 points. Wake me up when they beat a good team by a lot of points. I'm sorry.
You're being disingenuous because if it's the Dolphins getting the 7 seed, you're thinking they'll get pape smeared also.
Yes, I don't think the Dolphins are that good of a team
But someone's
either.
going to get the 7 seed is sort of my point, and they're going to play a 2 seed that they're going to be a...
Yeah, like if the Raiders get the 7 seed, they probably get waxed in the first
No,
round too.
I think the Raiders could actually hang with people. We've seen that. We've seen them beat good teams and hang with other teams. Like they beat the Chiefs for heaven's sake. So no, I actually think the Raiders were cut above a team like the Browns, for example. And they beat them when the last time they played. So
Browns have a hard schedule coming up.
Yeah, the Browns have one. I actually looked at Atlanta's schedule earlier today. Oh no, they got Tampa.
The Browns.
Atlanta has the Bucks twice, the Saints twice, Green Bay.
Well, it's good for Saints fantasy guys.
Yeah.
I don't think the Browns schedule is that hard.
No, they have a really easy schedule. All the AFC North has an easy schedule.
Texans, Eagles, Jaguars, Titans, Ravens. No, that's tough. Giants, Jets, Steelers. Like they need to get to 9. 9's the magic number, and they're already at 5. Like that it's there for them if they want it.
They're actually a great team to pick up in fantasy if you're good right now as a defense because they get Jets, Giants in the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, round of Cleveland. This next game, again, we don't know if Matthew Stafford is playing or not, but it looks like Alex Smith will start for Washington. So Washington at Detroit. Detroit's favored by 4, but the total is off the board, which I don't think I've ever seen before. That they're listing a spread for the game, but there is no over-under.
I've never seen...
Are they telling me that they think that Matthew Stafford and Chase Daniel are the same person?
Did it literally go off the board for 8 seconds while you like collected the information? Because it's weird that
it's been that way on DraftKings Sportsbook pretty much all day.
I have no idea what to make of that. I'm going to take the Lions.
I'm going to take the Washingtons. I just think Washington's D plays really well against this sort of front. You can get to Stafford or Chase Daniel, whoever it might be, that front seven. It's very good pass defense. It's not like the Lions are going to run all over you. And I think that, prevent Alex Smith from throwing 3 picks. He didn't look horrible, but it's just going to be a dink and dunk type. This I don't know if Washington wins outright, but they lose by a field goal. It just feels like one of those games to me.
I'll play Detroit for the reasons Geoff said.
I literally just said I'm playing the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I have no confidence in it.
My only thing is a couple weeks ago, this team was like a pick'em versus the Colts. And then people like them versus Minnesota. Like I've had a good gauge, I think, on Detroit this year. I like them to actually come through here, though.
No Golladay.
I don't trust
stuff.
Washington
Well, you don't trust them to what?
to win or cover or play good in any game. Even though they have 2 wins, I don't trust them.
Yeah, the one thing I do worry about is that if they do get down by too much, that they just concede with 3 minutes left in the game, like they did earlier.
They'll
in the year.
do that.
Yeah.
Leave all their timeouts in their pocket.
Yeah, they did, just like the Jets did against the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, that's a terrible team.
I'm the only
Poorly
one
coached.
taking Washington here?
Like, imagine giving the ball to Frank Gore, who's 5,000 years old.
You love Frank Gore. You were so pumped
when you've
they
got
signed him.
Pirine, who needs touches, and when you've got Mims, who, when you get him the ball, looks like a world beater, but you're not getting enough touches because God forbid you not give Frank Gore the ball as many times as you possibly can so that you can set up a punt on the 38-yard line when you're 0-8. It's a really well-coached team you got. That's really smart. Real genius. Thanks, Peyton. Appreciate it, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe that's why you don't have a job in the NFL. Nobody trusts you.
So you're blaming Peyton Manning for
Not
the Jets'
blaming
lack of
him.
success.
The decision to listen to Peyton Manning is the Jets' fault. But Peyton doesn't know what he's talking about.
Maybe he was
which I
just-
guess I shouldn't have been surprised about.
Maybe he was just trolling the New York Jets.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe. Then he got us. Ha 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 ha. Enjoy not doing TV because no one actually really wants you.
Actually, everybody wants him.
Oh yeah, sure. That's all.
He's
nonsense.
turned down like Romo money without even doing a
Yeah,
game.
I don't believe it.
And
What do you
I don't
mean?
care.
And he's likely to just do what Elway does and be a president of a team one day. And he already got his coaching mulligan. Like, he already got that mulligan out of the way for you guys.
Great. What a genius. He's great. Yeah.
I
You know
forget-
what?
Why,
He screwed my team over. So I'm sorry if I don't have any sympathy for the guy. Sorry.
you mean by screwed his team over? Like, was it beating you in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl?
But didn't your
Well, we beat him in the playoffs too.
Yeah,
Don't
but not to go to the Super Bowl.
didn't your
More
owners
in fact, we beat him more often than he beat us in the playoffs. For all things being
How many times did they play in the AFC Championship game?
just once,
And
but
who won?
we also beat. Well, they did, but we beat them. We beat him twice.
Yeah, that doesn't make a
So it's
difference.
not like
Now, does
you
it?
had
Who won the
domination.
Who won the Super Bowl that year?
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's
what
right.
if the Jets can't do anything because they're just owned by creditors after Johnson & Johnson goes down from the baby powder lawsuits?
Then we have to wait like the Mets, and for God knows how many years till a rich billionaire buys us.
Now, guess what? You might be surprised at this, Geoff. As soon as Cohen bought the Mets, Tim said, "Watch out for the Mets next year."
I think they could be special in 2021. I'm just saying.
How many years in a row will that have made that you've picked the Mets?
I don't know. I picked them too often for a team I don't cheer for, but I just think they're good.
Brings us to the midway point of the show. I feel like we got the Cust corner out of the way pretty early. The beginning of the show was essentially the Cust corner, so I don't want to waste too much time on
Yeah,
this.
but he's probably got something.
No, I mean, I don't know if Tim has something or not, but as it was revealed before the show on my text thread, is that are there classes you can take to learn how to do what adults should do? Because we want to enroll Tim in that. Tim is looking to buy a home, and he didn't realize that when you buy a home, you can get a realtor to help you buy the home.
No. What?
I thought realtors were for selling homes, not for buying homes. Because you see the signs on people's homes, like so, that they're selling it with a realtor. Okay, that's what realtors are for. Didn't occur to me that you would hire a realtor.
Are you
to buy
a
home.
baby bird?
No, I just have never bought a home before.
I understand not buying
I don't quite know the processes. I'm just going to plead ignorance. I don't know.
So how long have you been looking to buy a house for now, then, though?
For several months, I'm just looking in a casual way. I'm being patient, but
I mean, you
didn't
could
quite.
save yourself a lot of money, but you're not an expert at this, so it's probably better to get the counsel of someone who knows the comps in the neighborhood and what
The
to
comps
look
neighborhood,
for.
or just know how to find listings. Think about how bad Tim is at the internet. You think he's finding all the listings?
Well, I bet you it's just him driving around town looking
for
for
signs?
open house yard signs.
but
No, I'm not that stupid. Come
yeah,
on.
he went to the corner store and he got one of those books that they have for free that have all the new homes in them, haven't you?
No, I didn't do that. Nor did I go to the community cork boards to look at the homes and tear the piece of paper off to call back.
But it was revealed that he said he couldn't book an open house or try to get any sort of open house. Then someone asked him, like, doesn't your realtor hook that up for you? He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, my hand to God, I thought the job of a realtor was predominantly to sell the home. not to buy the home. I mean, I've watched those $1 million listings where people have like advisors to help them buy homes. But first, those are incredibly wealthy people who have things to do, who hire people for all kinds of things to do things that the average person does for themselves. I didn't put any stock in. Maybe I'm just being completely ignorant. And that's,
So
if that's the case,
he
then
just
I'm
assumed
guilty.
they're personal assistants.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Or that that's somebody they hired to do a job. Not that not that the common man does that. But apparently they do, and I learned that, and I'm open and willing for suggestions. I don't know why it's funny. I know better now.
I'm like, it's one of those.
You're approaching 40, Tim.
It's also a very common thing for someone in their 40s, like in their social circle, to know like a friend or a friend's wife or like somebody who themselves is themselves an actual real estate agent.
My wife and I were thinking about giving up our careers and becoming real estate agents. If only that we could get our poster and put it around town of us going back to back like this. Seems
Anyway,
pretty
I thought
cool.
those people principally sold homes, not purchased homes.
I have a realtor here and a realtor where Tim lives, where I'm looking for a home right now.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. Can I ask you a question? Because I had a question I wanted to ask you specifically.
Me or Geoff?
You.
Okay.
Because this is something that came up Tuesday that you were following very closely, and I don't know if you had a chance to discuss it, but I want to ask you what went on because I don't quite understand it.
The election.
What in the name of God was happening with the odds on Tuesday night?
Okay. So here's what
You were following it very closely, and I kind of want you to give to dilate on what happened.
So here was the problem, and Paul kind of articulated it to me when we were talking about it. So there was a very sharp way that you could have played this. Because, I mean, Paul, you can even chime in on this, that you didn't know that Pennsylvania was counting its votes, its mail-in ballots, after the polls had closed, correct?
Correct.
So there was these it feels like they could have done a better job of articulating when the mail-in ballots were going to be counted. Because I think a lot of people just thought that they were going to be counted right away. Because they were counted right away in some states, or they'd been previously counted and they were just immediately thrown onto the total. So when it looked like Trump was running away with some of these like swing states, like he wins Florida, like, yeah, you expect him to win Florida. Like there was the pipe dream of, I mean, I had money on Biden to win Texas and Georgia. One paid $250, one paid $200. So, plus 200 ended up paying. That was nice. But at the same time, like, even the live odds of the state by state as we got deeper into the night, even when the odds started swinging back towards Biden, Pennsylvania, Biden was still like plus 220 midway through the night. Georgia, he was like plus 200. And in Wisconsin and in Michigan for a while before everyone kind of figured out what was going on. I was like, oh, these late ballots are coming in. They're all Biden. And then everything switched. But I think what happened to the books, and some people got caught.
Like, it's 16's happening all over again.
No, well,
when it got to minus 775,
but
I
it
went,
didn't. But it
this
did.
is
But
delusional.
it didn't though.
But
that was
okay.
the thing. Like I was tracking
Okay.
the odds. You can follow me posting like when the odds started going up and
Yes.
going like I think like my bookie listed at minus 800 at one point. And people were, oh my god, they had Trump at like I think minus 500 was like really because. The books are, I mean, not, the books aren't, they're trying to take your money for one thing, but they do want to balance it out. Yeah. Once it got to like minus 200, minus 225,
they just don't want to take any more Trump money.
Everyone just started betting Trump.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they thought it's all happening again. And then people just started pounding it. And then people just waited. Like our friend got it at plus 300 for Biden. I got it at plus 150 for Biden. Just like when I just took an overall like look at what was going on here. It's like, oh, Biden's going to win.
I kept advising calm to our friends on that thread the whole night. Like
he was advising calm to me also in a personal like Tim, like tell me what's going on here. Are you nervous yet? And then Tim was like, no. Like Tim was undeterred, and then I thought it was just Tim maybe being stubborn because I gotta say, as someone who isn't politically savvy but loves election season, you're seeing this thing. It's like, oh my god, in 2016, Trump became the favorite at 950. Tonight, Trump became the favorite at like 925. You're like, holy shit, it feels the same. My wife's like, ah!
Yeah, my wife had to turn it off. I was like, I want to watch this. This is great.
And all this stuff, but literally in you talking, I thought of something. What literally happened, and I don't even understand the sport that well, but it seemed like the voting tabulation was literally like Trump was playing cricket. He was the only one batting, and you get your full turn to bat.
Yeah.
But Biden still gets his full turn to get his like 30 outs or whatever, however cricket
he gets his
works.
3 days to go hit.
Yeah, he gets his 3 days to hit, but everyone thought this was like happening like an equal game simultaneously.
I actually think it's a pretty good analogy. And then
and that doesn't excuse the polls, which were incredibly wrong again.
well, the poll seemed really wrong in Florida, but everywhere else they were like within the margin of error, weren't they?
You don't get margin of errors apply to a single poll. You don't get to apply margin of errors the same way to an aggregate of polls. Not quite the same thing. And they all missed in the same direction again. So the polling was, by and large, quite terrible. And less excusable this time because 4 years ago they didn't know the mistakes we were making. They were supposed to fix them. And I got it wrong again. So there is sort of a crisis, and that's why there's a crisis of numbers on Tuesday night. You had the betting side stuff, which I know you were following and I was very interested in. And how can all these people with money who seem to be kind of smart and savvy be misunderstanding the circumstances so badly? But at the same time, the pollsters and the aggregators were getting it really wrong too. And so I was like, what is going on here? What can I trust? What can I not trust? Well, I trusted my own gut, which is I thought it would be fine, but I'm looking at all these numbers flying around from groups and people I respect, and I'm like, what in the name of heavens is going on here?
Well, it's hard to really kill the aggregators for it because they're not actual pollsters.
I agree.
They're not the one administering the polls. They're trusting
the greater
that
sin is the pollsters.
Yeah, they're trusting that the pollsters would actually have done their job properly. And I'm sure that they did adjust. They just adjusted incorrectly or not enough, or they need to figure out a new way. Because we even talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago. That who are they polling? People that you can phone on a landline? Like, that's not really helping you, is it?
No, the important thing is the miss wasn't random. The miss was in the exact same direction in almost every state. That tells you something, that there was something systematically wrong again.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, this all kind of boils down to Trump and probably people not wanting, because you get mocked publicly for being a Trump supporter.
Maybe it happened in the midterms too in some of these states, but maybe that's because he was the president.
In a lot of places that people didn't want to admit that they were doing it. Do you think that these polling errors, because the only reason I ask this, and maybe I'll ask my friend who's like big into this, is that polling in almost every other country over the past like 5 years has been really, really accurate. It's only the United States that seems off.
That's a great point.
Like almost,
almost like America.
Brexit was bad, but that was pre-Trump.
That
right?
was pre-Trump, basically since Trump has been elected, polling and like even like riding by riding. Look at how accurate the polling was in Canada during the last election, Tim. Like it was dead on.
It missed a little bit on the overall vote total, but it was still pretty sound.
But like riding by riding, I think it was like 98% or something like that.
Yeah,
same as in Britain, same as New Zealand, same as Australia. Like it just seems there has to be a Trump effect on all of this. And that's why it's so
or just a media effect of trying to make plus the United States political culture is just really different. This is what American exceptionalism means. It doesn't mean it's better or worse. American exceptionalism means they're exceptional in the sense that they're just different. They're like nowhere else. And their political culture is like no other political culture. They buck trends at every turn. And that's what we're seeing here. And at least that's my interpretation of it from like a political science point of view, is that this is the American political culture showing that they are not easily definable as just amongst those in the West, that they're a unique character unto themselves. And it may be that for a while, we can't really poll certain things in the United States, or if we do poll, we can't then say the purpose of these polls is to tell us who's going to win or what the result's going to be. That may not be an option available to us. It may just give us a general sense of what may be happening at that moment in time, kind of. And we just have to sort of accept that messy confusion for the time being. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm comfortable with things not being clear and cut and dried in that sense. But I think the point is well made that America is different. And the reason is that their political culture is unlike any other.
Well, I'm curious because I didn't look at any of the like French election. Were the French election polling way off? Because they're what?
No, Macron was supposed to win.
He was supposed to win, but like, who was it? Le Pen is muddier, wasn't that the other one?
Yeah, Marine Le Pen might have. People thought maybe she had a chance to win on the first ballot, but like with some U.S. states, in France, you go to a runoff if you don't win 50%.
Well, see that's the thing. Like the French political system is set up the most like the American one, right? Like they both have presidential systems where everyone else basically has parliamentary. I mean,
France is a really weird duck in some ways, but because they have cohabitation that we don't have in the same way. But yes, absolutely, theirs is more American than it is parliamentary.
So I would think that they would probably have the biggest crossover there because in maybe that's the thing. When you have a name at the top of the ticket, and that can affect what happens in each of the states, and like we saw, that people went to go vote against Trump, who were Republicans and still just voted Republican all the way the rest down the list.
Yeah.
So
the GOP are going to pick up 7 or 8 seats in the House. They're going to hold the Senate, it looks like. if Trump just carried the vote that down ticket Republicans got, he would have won the election. There was a lot of people who said, I don't want him, but I don't hold his party responsible for him. That's what we saw last Tuesday.
Well, I don't know.
But for a while, the bettors thought, oh no, they were giving a big endorsement of Trump.
You see, I don't necessarily know if it was the bettors. I think it was like
I wonder if we'll ever know the handle that came in on Trump.
All the handle that came in pre-election, and then the biggest bets that were made during the election were all on Biden. Like all the sharp people bet Biden at like plus 300.
But I assume for the line to move to even minus 500, like there had to have been so much smoke coming in on Biden. I
feel like they're not big bets, though. I think it was a lot like the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight, where everyone who was like betting large all bet on Floyd Mayweather, but just the amount of bets coming in on Conor McGregor at a small volume ended up just winning the day.
Right,
because there were so many of them.
Except if it was in the middle of the fourth round and people saw the first 3 rounds and threw all their money behind McGregor.
But that's not actually the case, though, because people didn't know what. If you're watching a boxing match, you can pretty much tell who's winning and who's not winning. In this election, it didn't seem like, and this is a pretty good point because Geoff, you kind of pointed this out. Like you didn't really know what was going on, and like when you go to Twitter to figure out what's going on, everyone's a fucking expert. Turns out they don't fucking know anything.
And they're lighting their hair on fire and screaming around in a circle.
Yeah. It turns out no one really knew what was going on except for like people who actually like you, Tim. I will give you credit on this.
People who are political scientists who had been focusing on how this was going to go. I mean, still some of them overreacted. And I was getting really strange too because there were some results I saw that made me think, oh, this is going to be close. And it ended up being actually a pretty close election. 200,000 votes in 4 states is the difference. But I never was deterred because I knew the way the votes were going to come in. But most people don't have the training or the knowledge. They just see Trump is up 60-40 in Pennsylvania and they spin around in their chair a bunch and scream.
And I think you kind of hit on it too. And it's like, I mean, the media is playing into this no matter what station that it's going to be. They want to make it seem like, oh, it's going to be close. Biden could come back here. Oh, Trump's not dead yet, just to continue to get people to tune back in.
Sure.
But at the same time, I think the polling is somewhat affected by like the internet mafia of people who are good with numbers and believe them to the absolute truth. And then you have all of the shows, whether it's left or whether it's right, that if your poll is slightly off of like the consensus poll, it's like, oh, well, your poll is no good. Well, maybe that poll was actually better.
Yeah, or even if it's not, at least it shows you're being honest. Like I think it was the New York Times, and I could be wrong, but somebody had Biden up by 17 in Wisconsin. Now, it was a ludicrous poll, but give them credit for being honest. That's what their numbers said. They weren't trying to like hide behind what it was going to be. But you're right. There is you said it, like a mafia online of stats people who seem to think that human beings can be quantified perfectly by numerical mathematics, and we can understand human interaction in a mathematical way. That's only true to an extent, but it kind of isn't because human beings are messy and confusing and contradictory and random and do things for weird reasons, and you can never fully anticipate it.
Yeah. Now,
hopefully, those people have been chastened a little bit. Not that numbers don't matter. Numbers are really important, and they teach us stuff. But the numbers cannot be the be-all and end-all of understanding human interaction when it comes to government. Otherwise, you're sapping people of their agency.
And it works the other way too. Like when we think about like football or anything like that, that you get the quantitative methods people that tell you like, here's how it is. Defense doesn't matter, whatever. And then that's the only thing that they can go with because it's so hard to like, whether it's the eyeball test, everyone's going to see something a little bit differently.
Oh, sure.
So I do agree that looking at whether it be the polling or the math of the election or of football is the preferred way to do it, to inform you of what's going on, because what you see might not be what I see or what Geoff sees or whoever sees. We can all have different interpretations of, how we feel that the culture is going, how the mood is shifting. But the numbers are going to tell you what the numbers say. It's just, you can't trust them 100% because they're not going to be that accurate.
Exactly. Football games decided because the football bounced to the left and it's a fumble, or it bounced to the right and it's recovered.
Geoff wins his Rookie of the Year bet because a doctor covertly stabbed Tyrod Taylor in the lung with a needle.
Well, I didn't make it till after that, but
the numbers can give you a general sense on the lay of the land, but you can't hammer it down to a confidence value of this percent or that percent, really, in a lot of ways, because human beings don't admit for that. That's not the way humans interact freely in the world. And hopefully we've learned that.
And taking a dogmatic approach towards, no, I'm right. The numbers say I'm right. I'm clearly going to be right.
Oh, it's that is ungallant and not becoming. And one would hope that everyone has learned to be a little bit more charitable. I hope.
We'll see. Buffalo at Arizona. Oh, Paul, you had something to say.
Just wanted to highlight Tim's landslide proclamation.
That's true.
That's just so that doesn't go forgotten.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. And don't listen to the people who tell you it was a blowout by looking at the popular vote. That's not a thing. It doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything. People who say this election was a landslide, or people who are saying by this metric that isn't a thing that I want to count that doesn't. It was very close. It wasn't a landslide. I was wrong about that. I still got the winner right, but it was a heck of a lot closer than I thought.
First time ever picking the winner of the presidential election. Congratulations.
No, I picked 2004 correctly as well.
You had Bush over Kerry. Since then, he's been
Yes,
wrong on every other election.
Yeah, I have been.
Obama was like,
Wasn't Obama like minus
1,000 going
500? Like, in
Yeah,
both
but I
of
was
them?
just certain. Anyway, I was wrong.
You really
frequently
got
wrong.
your finger on the pulse of the people, my man.
Frequently wrong, seldom in doubt.
Buffalo at Arizona. All of the good games are in the late set of games this week. There's 5 late games.
Yeah, you know why?
Masters. You think it is? Or is this just how it broke down?
I'm not really sure.
I think this is just how it broke down.
It's the first time ever we've had more 5
But,
o'clock
like,
games than 2 o'clock games.
The Chargers are at 4
actually
o'clock
true, though.
in
There's
Miami.
There's 6 early games, 5 later games.
I thought there was 5 and 6. I'm sorry.
Unless Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is a later game, and I
think it is.
Is it? Why
I
would
don't
Cincinnati?
think so.
It would be a CBS game.
There's 5 games.
is it
I
late?
sent you a message earlier. I looked at the 4 o'clock slate earlier today. It's not. There's 5 games at 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Okay.
shucks. He's right.
so it is because of the Masters then. Yeah, all the Fox except for Houston and Cleveland, which they probably just don't care about.
But this is what I
Or Game
don't.
to Fox.
This is what I don't understand. Why with the Masters is CBS going 4:05 and not 4:25? Like they're trying to get 60 minutes in. Also, like they're trying to
because
bite off a
4:25
lot.
4:25 belongs to the marquee game.
No, every Fox game is 4:25.
Maybe that's an agreement for Fox versus CBS.
So then try to put. I guess
Try to trade time slots.
It's like, let us do 4:15 then. Like, let us have every minute we can. Because as you've pointed out, it doesn't matter who's playing who. Any game under the NFL shield is exponentially more important than golf. Unless it's Tiger Woods.
Even if it is Tiger Woods.
You're right.
And you put Houston and Cleveland at 4:25 and the Masters playoff at 4:20 with Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson versus Rory McIlroy. The football game's going to draw more people.
They
Football
would
is
be trying
just-
to burn CBS studios to the ground for not showing that football game.
No, I think it's the
football
crazier
rules
people would
all.
be the ones trying to burn it to the ground would be the football fans if they didn't.
That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Football is king.
Well, there's
And at
just
least
so
CBS
much.
understands it.
There's so
And
much
golf is-
money involved.
But golf is also accepting of that too.
Yes,
Oh yeah, they know.
They understand their place. So
that's
The Masters are in Augusta, Georgia.
listen.
They know the role of football in their lives.
They change as much as daylight plays a part of it. As I said off the top, they altered their cut rule at the Masters, I think, to accommodate the network who has football.
they also want people to tune into the Masters too.
Of course.
They don't want to go head to head on the like on CBS. That's people.
So, what game will you watch? Like at 1 o'clock, what is your favorite game to even like try to pay attention to? Tampa, Carolina?
or Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. I guess.
No, we just said that's 4.
not. Philly Giants
Great.
fantasy.
Nothing.
I mean, I have
I'll be.
I have
I'll feel
multiple
free
TVs.
to watch golf.
It's not that
I'll be
big of a
free to
deal.
watch golf.
I'll have the
I
golf
just
on the
flip
big
around
TV.
on one TV.
I'll have the big TV with golf on it. Then I'll have like 3 games on the other 3 TVs.
Well, Pat, too rich. Some of us only have one TV that we watch our games.
no,
on.
you're plenty rich. You just don't know how to work a cord.
yeah, and Tim doesn't know how to stream a game on his phone or on his computer, which I can do.
Tim's
So
rich
it's pretty
enough
easy.
to have 6 screens going. I'm
Okay,
sure
so
of
Tim,
it.
you have a TV in your house. You have your phone. You have a computer. I assume you have an iPad.
Yeah, but I don't know how to use any of those.
Well,
things.
that's not my fault now, is it?
You're too rich.
How many
Anyway,
computers do you have?
You need one of those personal assistants, like not the,
Like a
that you
realtor.
think is a realtor that can also serve as your realtor.
Like when Kramer had that Darren character.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
John Hamm in the Skip the Dishes commercial.
That's only in
I hate
Canada.
those.
I know.
I love those
Is
commercials.
he not
They're
the
great.
most annoying? Like he parlayed an amazing role in an amazing show into being like cameo comedy guy is pathetic. Like for us, not for him.
Why is it pathetic for us?
I think he sucks.
He's great. He was great on 30 Rock. He's great. He's
like
great. in
8-5. It's past.
He's great in
Past.
those commercials.
He has jumped the shark.
Oh, I highly disagree.
His comedy has jumped the shark.
Jeff is 100% right.
I love those commercials.
I don't know when Tim agrees with me.
You're just
is-
mad because they're on all the time.
This guy as the comedy cameo guy from his I don't understand how he got that niche. He was good in Bridesmaids.
He was good in Bridesmaids. He's good in the
He was good in the town.
Yeah, that wasn't like a comedy
No,
cameo.
but he's
role.
doing.
He can do that. I like John Hamm, the actor. I can't stand this John Hamm all over the place as a comedy cameo guy. I don't respect that. I don't get it. I don't think he's worthy of it. They're better people for something like that.
Like who? Who would you rather cast in that commercial?
I could name someone, but comedy people.
Scott Kahn's dad, as your wife would say.
Yeah, sure. I don't know who. I wish I was better prepared to answer it, but I guarantee you I'll lie in bed tonight and have 7 names.
You text those to me when we're done. So the second of the late games, I suppose, since we've already covered one of them, Buffalo at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 2 points. 56 is the over-under. We all got caught sleeping on Buffalo last week. That's on us.
Yeah.
They just look like such trash. However, Arizona's going to win this game. I'm taking Arizona -2.
Me and you, Pat, might have been like literally part of the 12% of people that were against Arizona last week.
Really? I thought people were on Miami last week.
No, that spread churned to like 6.5. But I'm flipping. I overvalued last week. I think undervalued this week. Buffalo got up for a big home game against Seattle. That was like a prove it something. Now this is another cross country, cross conference. They just made their statement. I like Arizona to bounce back here.
Yeah, it feels like a coin flip game in that situation. Give me the home team. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I'm really disappointed.
I'm just shocked at the amount of turnovers that the Bills were able to force on Russell Wilson, despite the fact they weren't playing good defense.
Some of them felt like self-inflicted by Russ. But yeah, I don't know. The Bills, I like a lot of the linebackers. They got good pieces. They weren't getting off the field on third down versus any good quarterbacks for a month, and they made it happen. They showed me I'm excited. And we're going to cash those. Well, I guess Miami's coming. But I like getting that win. It feels good for those division futures that Paul got me on when Cam had COVID or something.
Tim, let me ask you this. Have we all vastly overrated the NFC West? And that maybe all 4 of those teams are average and not good?
No, I don't believe so. I think that, the Niners are dead team walking, but the other 3 teams are still pretty talented in their own way. And I have to admit, this is our accountability section for the week. I was dead wrong about the Buffalo Bills.
Well, of course.
Buffalo Bills are good.
They blew up. Oh,
they're very
here
good.
we go.
Oh, no.
And the division is theirs,
Stop
and I
it.
congratulate them. I shake them warmly by the hand because there's no one to really chase them in the AFC East now. Patriots are
Sorry,
too
if
far
the
back.
Jets won last night, you would have been that team? What changed?
No. I was going to say this regardless. I mean, the Patriots.
This is just
are
because you
done. Jets are
absolutely
done.
despise Miami.
Yeah, the worst
And
thing
the
that could have
Dolphins
ever
are
happened to
garbage.
Paul was Tua getting the job.
You're
Not that
just
they're better, but
seething
now they're
with
cursed.
jealousy
But why
that
can't
we
you-
have a quarterback. Things are turning around for us. Things are broken for you guys.
You can't
Tim, you can't change at this point.
I changed my opinion when the facts changed. That Buffalo win over Seattle was a monumental eye opener to me.
By the way, this is
That's
why
a-
we're betting Arizona this week. That's
a game a team wins, and I go, wowzers! You win that game, that makes me sit up straight.
And Arizona's atrocious because they lost to Miami, who's pathetic in your
And
eyes.
how dare
right?
you lose to the Dolphins at home? What a terrible loss that is. Just terrible. I expect Buffalo to win this comfortably. Go Bills.
Is this on the teaser?
No, because you can't get it. I want to get a key number. So, no.
He just did that. He can't even put a cent on after that
Because I
rant.
want the key numbers.
Why? Well, you get through 7.
Yeah, but I want to get... Anyway, that's not the way we're playing it.
See,
One score game?
I think that he's lying to you, Paul.
This is disingenuous.
This
Yeah.
seems very disingenuous.
All right, fine. Now it's a 6-team, 7
How
point.
many plays did you watch of that game against
Quite a
Seattle?
few. It was the game to watch early on.
It
I thought we
was.
did actually look really good.
They
It was
did
the
look
first time our
awesome.
defense looked good, but the important thing here is Tre'Davious White's got to play. He
I
may
agree.
not play. He got hurt at the end of the game.
I agree. They need him to play.
I will, full credit, as I said earlier, I don't care if you didn't make ceiling plays. The guy outdueled Kyler Murray on the road, full marks to Tua. I can't believe that they didn't let Murray use his legs more like late in the game when it mattered.
or
After
when they
he
kicked a field
dominated-
goal?
hit DeAndre Hopkins at all. They just have Hopkins, who's his star receiver, and they're like, yeah, well, Xavier Howard is terrible. We're not going to bother with him. We're just going to let you do nothing. Shameful loss.
Xavier
After
Howard is
Seattle,
awesome, by the way.
I think he's very overrated.
What would lead you to believe that, please, Tim?
He takes a ton of
I
chances.
would like to see your film breakdown of
He
Xavier
takes
Howard.
a ton of chances, and I don't like it.
I like him.
I'm
I like him a
Well-
lot. I don't like the free agent.
How
Byron
dare
Jones.
you lose to that team? How dare you pump air into the tires of that terrible Dolphins
A
team?
well-coached,
They don't
good
deserve that win.
defensive team got a road. You're
How
got
does
to
your kicker
win.
come
What's
up
wrong
short
with you?
from 49 yards? How dare you do that? How dare you come up short from 49 yards? I get rid of this Cardinals team this week. I'm so angry. Buffalo should crush them and clinch the division this week.
Clinch the
And
division.
I hate.
Arizona
I
might be my
pretty much
Super
does
Bowl.
because they'll be up 3.5 games on the lowly Dolphins. Who
If Josh Allen gets injured,
we don't
that's-
need to see half the schedule with the
I'm
Dolphins.
never going to forgive you.
We don't need to go through the Dolphin schedule, but there are very, very, very few wins left on that schedule.
Well, they got the
Just
Jets
understand
again.
that.
Oh,
That
what
may
do
be
you-
it.
I don't like where this is headed at the moment.
Well, that means that brings us to the main event of the evening. Justin Herbert's at the Tuas. Tua favored by 2.5 points at home. Not the respect for the full 3 for Tua right now. It sounds like the bookmakers Tim on this one. You probably have the Chargers favored by 9 if it was up to Tim. 48 is the over-under. How are the Chargers going to lose this game by less than 2.5?
They're
I guess
not.
is the question. How are they going to find a way to lose 30-29 and cover the spread yet still somehow lose? Because they're going to lose. It happens every week. I'm taking Miami.
I'll be brief.
I think the 16-1 basically sets itself in stone this week.
I'll be brief.
Head to head.
Well, he's not fighting with undefeated Tua. That's just a monkey wrench into the situation.
Super lock.
Miami?
Super lock. And if Joey Bosa plays, Masters winnings, Masters get all my money back to the center of the table.
So when Bryson wins, you're going to put
A chunk.
$5,000
No,
on...
not a chunk though. A chunk if Bosa's playing. Bosa has to play. Bosa has to play. He has not cleared concussion protocol. He didn't clear it on Monday. To my understanding, Pat, they don't do them on Tuesday. Tomorrow's concussion protocol will be important. If he doesn't pass Wednesdays, I will be concerned. I've already said more words. I was supposed to say 2 words.
Now, are you taking the money line or are you going to take the spread?
For the show, the Superlocks count as the spread.
Sure, but I mean, what's your actual bet going to be on this money line? Because you're setting yourself up for a missed extra point to win or something. Goes into overtime. There's a special team.
We'll see. I want to see if both. I want to see. Maybe the spread gets to 3. I don't know. I don't care if it gets to 2. So it can move that way, but I'll wait it out sort of to actually make a play because gets to 3's advantage, gets to 2 doesn't change anything. This is just a water finding its level. This is just life. The Chargers, they can't find it. They can't find a way. Look at these last 4 games. Embarrassing. On the other end, there's Miami, who I think's run 4 in a row, and everything just feels charmed. This is just a flip, a script flip on life. Joey Bosa plays.
Would this be in a year where the Chargers could
Yes,
realistically
this
win
is it.
3 games?
This is the
You
game.
need to win this game for you personally?
Yeah, see, people.
With all the Miami fans in your life, you need to
Let
win
me
this game?
explain something to you. As someone that doesn't live out west, I love San Diego. It's not a home. San Diego. I don't even trying to write this game in notes. I don't write LAC. Me writing those words on paper feel weird. LAC. It's like the Clipper. I don't write it. I'll write Bolts. I'll still write SD. For me, in my Toronto base, when you don't live somewhere with a team and all your friends just have different teams, those are your rivals. More so than the actual rivals in the division.
Why you your friend who loves Les Titans?
The Titans are a rival. The Dolphins are my rivals. Those are my rivals. Those are my life division teams.
I like that. I like life. I think that's a great concept. your life division.
Yeah, that's
who are
what-
the teams that,
Surrounded by Patriots fans.
yeah.
That's sort of locale to where you live. And what's so funny about my group is like no one picked. Yeah, there's no Bills fans per se, which is kind of weird logistically, but I guess we're like, no, we like it. We like to go party there. No one wanted to wear that stank, although I'm into what they do and I support them. And did you see Josh Allen's grandmother died? And she put out like, lieu of donations like for her local thingy that people do when they pass, like donate to this children's hospital. And the people of Buffalo donated over $200,000, like just out of the blue. Like they're
24 hours.
They're so fucked up amazing in Buffalo.
Generous,
like
very generous.
in a special way. Like it is a fabric, it is a life.
And Tim
Didn't
said,
they give a bunch of money to the Bengals children's charity or
Yeah,
something?
when Andy
after
Dalton, got
him in the playoffs?
and then Tim looked at the ball and said, I could have spent that money buying more Monopoly stickers.
I don't know where we were, but this is a long game. And now that I've spoken a lot, I got to be quite brief. I was disgusted at the officials and my head coach. The officials don't know how to work a clock. And sometimes if the officials don't, it means a coach who's been in the goddamn league for 3 fucking years should know what he's doing. You expect the officials to know how to do their job properly. But you've been in the league long enough. You're not a rookie now. This is year 3. Cost us 2 fucking plays at the goal line. I don't know what the play calls were. We got too many weapons. The passes were perfect. Like they were nice passes, but that's a 1 in 4 play you run, not a 2 of 2. But the fucking timeouts, man. And at the end of the first half, that clown ass is lucky he's got a player like Herbert and Keenan Allen. Because we had like a minute 40 from the 30, and we would have run 2 freaking plays. Because we're dog dick.
I think that's what this comes down to.
Yeah, I know. Flores versus Lynn. It could be close. One coach will out-coach circles. Fuck, I get it. You guys hate Lynn for a lot of polarizing reasons, for bets, for a lot of things. There's things that bother me so much beyond that. All that being said,
What about the facial hair?
I truly believe, I get it. The Chargers are a polarizing team for how they lose, for how much they lose. You cannot convince me the season isn't like a success, though. I can't deny any part of that. Whether the guy that I bet at 16-1 gets a trophy or not, it's an ultimate success.
I want to hear this from people out here too, by the way. Retweet the show or in the comment section. Like you can put this up on Twitter as a quote tweet when you're watching this clip. I want to know who's in your friend division. I'm really intrigued by this concept. So it's not the idea of, I'm a Philly fan, I hate the Eagles, but just amongst your friends. Like, for me, the Jets would be in it because Tim is a Jets fan. I just rooting.
100%.
They're a friend's rival for
and
me.
what's funny
and
is
the Patriots too.
I think in a
Patriots
lot of
and Dolphins.
Yeah, see, the funny thing is in your pocket group, it seems like the AFC East actually just makes that up on its own.
Yeah, but
coincidentally.
I don't have any ill will towards the Dolphins or Bills.
No, I
it's
know.
just the Jets.
But
and
you don't
Patriots.
have a favorite team that you'll take a thing against. The other thing
The Chargers are in that
put
for
it
me
this
now
way.
too. I root
Yeah, I
against the
get it.
Chargers.
I get it. That's okay. Pat, we suffer the most heartbreaking losses, and I'm thinking about like an ex-girlfriend snickering. Like the Chargers lost. I know he's yeah. The other part about the friend division is you can't just be a friend and have a team to get into my friend division. I have friends that like a team. You have to like them to a certain level.
Oh no, I agree.
For like me to, you can't just say, "Oh, that's my team."
Yeah,
No.
your passion for the Chargers is what makes the Chargers a friend rival for me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like I enjoy seeing the Jets do really poorly because it cracks me up when Tim gets all sad. Your sadness goes to a different level than Tim's because you're like really emotionally affected by it. And if the Chargers had a good year, I'd be happy for you. But like in a season,
You think I'm not emotionally affected?
He
by
cried week 1. That was when they were 0-1, not 0-8.
Yeah, but he's soft. We all know that. He
I know.
cries
I'm
over
soft
everything.
though. I'm soft.
Yeah, but he's
No, it's
super
true.
soft.
I am
Believe me,
I am
for me,
soft. I'm soft.
There's no doubt. For me, it's Patriots, Dolphins, USC, and Alabama are the 4 teams in football.
Oh, we go
I
multi-sport.
despise.
I like
got
that.
no-
I like this idea that you can go like any. Who are your? You put 4 teams in a division. They're your 4 friend rivals.
Okay, now Tim can have this because where he lives. I can't have this because the other sports we're pretty much united on. We're from the city. There's a NBA and NHL and MLB team in the city.
But legitimately, I guess yeah, because
So there's no friend divisions for other teams. There's like a unity amongst like the Blue Jays and the Raptors.
Yeah.
And the Leafs, even though I don't care as much as other people, they're still the team in the friend group. Like, there's no other team. No one's a Blackhawks fan.
Okay, well, it's different out here where, for example,
yeah.
I despise the Bruins and Maple Leafs.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
We'll stick it to football. I like
Or
this.
the Red Sox. Or the Red Sox.
The friend rivalry. Tim, who are you taking here?
Patriots, Dolphins, Alabama, USC.
I meant in the Chargers-Dolphins game.
I don't think the friend rivalry means as much to people who like.
Are all from the same city?
Yeah, and
Like if you're from Philly, you
they're
just
all
hate the
Eagle
NFC
fans.
East.
Yeah, they're like, no, they don't have that. You got to ask.
I agree with Geoff.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting too, is that like the guy that likes the Titans, who's your friend, you met him what, college? People
Before college.
but some people go away to college, not in their home state, and all of a sudden they're
sure. You're absolutely right about that. And it's even more fun if your friend division happens to be in your division, like Tim has. That works even better. That's double bangers.
You taking Tua, Tim?
Please. Chargers, comfortably. Dolphin team's a fraud.
Are you teasing
Fraud.
them
They got no, I'm not.
up? I like your strong stances on these games.
Guys,
You won't
I've
even
got
go
other
to a
games I
teaser.
like better.
You can't even
I've got
give
other
me.
games
I'm
I like
supporting
better.
this thing. You can't give me not. You can't take us to over the score.
I already gave you one you demanded on this
I didn't
teaser.
demand. That
You're
wasn't me.
We're listening to you talk about the games, and then you're unconfident in one team like the Pack. You say about the Packers like, "Oh, I wouldn't even bet this. I guess I'll tease them down." They're definitely
I'm
gonna
not
win."
teasing them because the
other one,
Chargers
they
lose
can't-
every
they
game in tragic
can't
fashion.
lose.
You can't lose
Because
in
the
tragic
Chargers lose
fashion.
every
Well,
game in tragic fashion.
you can lose
They
in
can have
tragic.
the game-winning field goal blocked and taken back for a
Yes.
touchdown.
I was trying
That's
to-
why I can't back them here.
Paul,
This is bullshit. Tim's just actively trying to sabotage mine and Jeff's team because he can't have nice things. That's
No,
all
and
I
the
say.
I
Dolphin.
take no joy.
Yeah,
in
this
He's
is like
rising the Dolphins up.
Oh, no,
the
he-
Dolphins are going to tidal wave. through this
Cust
thing.
is step. Okay, yes, Cust is a big lefty, so Cust is stepping up right here. We got the 7, we got the 10, and Tim's picking up that spare, just wiping out the Bills and wiping out the Chargers all in one go, and elevating
But
the
he
Dolphins
hates
up.
the Dolphins. Is that an act? I think he actually really his Tua stuff to me is very
I
real.
despise the Dolphins. Not as much as I despise the Patriots, but almost as much.
His dad is a Dolphins fan. How's your dad taking? How's Doug taking this?
He doesn't even walk on the ground anymore.
Yeah, no, they are. These Dolphin fans, they are
It's
fucking
like he's hitting
floating.
me the
And
other day.
I
He's like, I haven't had this since Danny retired. That's what he's been calling Dan
No,
Marino. He's so excited. 'Cause
it's
he
true.
He said the first time he ever cried in his life that he remembers is when John Riggins ran for 5,000 yards against the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. Like he is so excited for Tua and this team. And all the Dolphins fans I know, and I know several, are just, they're doing backflips and cartwheels over this team. And I want their joy turned into ashes.
You want them to be you?
What sucks is
If
that's
I
my
gotta be
responsibility.
miserable,
Then pick 'em
other
to
people
win.
need to be miserable.
But that's my responsibility, and you're just cursing me and trying to get there for this week.
And me.
Yeah, watch out for your Bills division bets, by the way.
Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
I'm taking Miami. I think Miami's a better team. I think they're a better coach. I think they have a better defense because
They
the
are
Chargers-
better coached. I'll give them that.
The Chargers defense just isn't healthy enough. And now in this, Preston Williams may or may not play, which is weirdly a decent thing for them. But they've just shown they can just recycle these pieces out here. And Tua inspires them so much that they play twice as good as they actually are talent-wise. Because he's inspiring. He's like good Tebow. Geoff, it seems like you have something to say.
You're not.
Is that Coach Lynn over there?
Yeah, Coach Lynn.
Oh, I didn't realize he was in the help.
I'm mad at a lot of people. But this fucking secondary that calls themselves the Jack Boys needs to fucking drop it. And this kicker that calls himself Money Badger needs to fucking drop it.
Doesn't that sound like something Tim would call himself?
Because if he just makes a 45-yard field goal, we could just kick a field goal from the 4 fucking yard line. Everyone's pissing me off. I can only watch the offense. I'm watching Masters flyovers while the defense plays now. That's where we were last week, just getting ready. I don't want to watch. I don't know you. I don't like you. I don't. Superlock. If Bosa plays, you should bet it. You win back all your Masters money or win more farms.
And the money line, that'll be plus money too. Like plus 120 or something. Win 1.2 farms. Denver and Vegas. The Raiders favored by 5 points at home. 52 is the over-under in this game.
I've played both these teams the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll take Denver plus the points.
It feels like Denver's only good once they get down by 30, though.
That's fine. This is going to be a close game. Oakland, emotional last-second victory last week. We kind of all liked Denver last week. They let us down.
They almost got there.
I think Denver just did a close game. I'm going to take, it's 5?
You're 5.
I'm taking 5.
What do you think, Tim?
I'm going to lay the 5. I trust the Raiders. I think the Raiders are a legitimately good NFL team, and I think the Broncos are not. I think the Raiders should. If you think as I do, the Raiders are like the 5th, 6th, 7th best team in the AFC, make the playoffs. This is the type of game at home in division. They ought to cover a number like that. And so I'm going to throw my dice into the middle of the table, and I'm going to go with Las Vegas.
I'm going with Tim. I think that Vegas is a cut above what Denver is right now. Derek Carr's been like sneaky okay this year.
He has been.
For all of us who laughed him out, like, oh yeah, Mariota-san is going to take his job. He's going to be out of the league. The Raiders are going to cut him. And this was pointed out to me, large, like the Raiders need to be like up in this game a bit early because Gruden, good coach, can't adjust to anything. Like whatever his game plan is, like it needs to work or they're screwed.
Yeah. On that note,
It's just the Broncos aren't good.
I agree. I got to just... So the dude from The Athletic for the Chargers beat writer responded to me in like his live chat.
He said, settle down, Francis.
No.
Does Paul have to get his pen ready for a new name on the list?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Although I do feel underserviced, I appreciate I can get a
Well, you
question
probably got
answered.
the $1 athletics subscription for the moment. I can't afford to go out and do all the reporting on that. You're the only guy who subscribed to it.
I do have like the $1. I do get the nut low. I suggested to him because his fuck. Yeah, I remember like this guy backs into the fucking hole, which annoys me because he's like, yeah, like clock management just isn't his strong suit. So put him in a goddamn Madden simulator. Lock him in there. Let's do 200 simulations so he can have 15 years experience.
So what you're saying is he should always be tuning into the DraftKings Dream Stream on the DraftKings YouTube channel
I
every
just
night?
mean like put him in a simulator. Clock's moving. We got one timeout. Call the fucking plays.
Why don't you just hire someone to do that? Like if you're openly not good at it, just hire someone on the staff to tell you when to take timeouts.
I do think the refs screwed us because they didn't give us a measurement that we deserved. And like 20 seconds ran off the clock. And Lynn is waiting for a goddamn measurement to be blown. And it's the fourth quarter late. And a 4th and inches. You should give me a measurement. Even if it's...
Maybe they forgot their like cue card that they used.
Even if the ref knows it's short, I believe the coach in that situation deserves the measurement to know just how short it is. Like how exactly do I need here? So the refs fucking suck, but so does the coach. I'll go to my grave. I mean to go back to this game. I don't care what anyone says. I do not care. I do not care. The Chargers, for beyond, are so much better than these two teams set up. That's my real division rant. We are the team that's going to chase the Chiefs when it matters. Not in 2020 though. That's for damn fucking
Maybe
sure.
If this was Madden and we ran those simulations and like the player raters next to the player ratings and that was all factored in and you simulated all this out, the Chargers would definitely be the one that's closest to the Chiefs. That's just not how it plays out in reality.
You're right. Next, it all starts though fresh. And we are ahead of both of these teams.
Yeah, but
I'm so adamant
here's what
about
you haven't
that.
factored in yet. If the Chargers are going to end up going like let's say 3-13 or something,
No.
they end up with the top 5 pick.
They're actually
this year.
No, yeah, but they're not. That's also the problem. And if you want to bet how many wins they'll get the rest of the season, I'll do it.
How much and how many wins? What are they now? 2-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to set the line at 4.5, I think.
I don't know. He seems pretty confident in this.
4.
5.5.
No, you're trying to sucker me. No. 4.5.
Make it 5.
No.
Make it 5.
No, I got to win on 5 if you're saying we're 3 and 13.
No, we'll push on 5.
No, there's not enough. There are 3. How many games are left? 8?
8.
7?
So if 7,
there's 8 games left.
and they need to go 5, 3, and
5 and 3.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll do
no,
it with
they
you.
wouldn't. They wouldn't actually have to go 5 and 3. They'd have to go 3 and 5 to get to 5 wins.
Yeah, they're gonna do that. They play the Jets. Yeah, the
Call 5
Patriots.
so we can call 5 a push.
5 a push.
All right, $200.
Yeah.
Lock her in. Should have bet the 300 that Tim's going to owe me when Arizona has a better record than Detroit. Either way,
I don't like this, but now I'll have incentive to cheer for games that I'm gonna kind of want them to lose. But
the point I was trying to make is that when they go 3 and 13 and they
Don't
end up with
fire
the
the
top 5
coach.
pick and they fire their coach, guess who's coming on this show next year and proclaiming they're going to knock off the Chiefs. They're going to win on the division. I think Herbert's going to take a step and win MVP. And guess what happens then? You haven't thought about that part, have you? You better hope they go 5 and 3 to end the year. You got to save Lynn's job so they're not Andrew Curse next year. He takes the first opportunity to get on the Chargers bandwagon whenever it seems like they're going to be good.
And you want to know something? That is actually my biggest fear, but not Tim. But I think it's going to be like springtime, and these major network writers that are hanging onto their jobs by threads have football deadlines to make. Oh, look at the
Pro
Chargers.
Football Focus loves the Chargers
Exactly.
this year.
You'll be the story of the offseason the way with the Jets were the story of the 2020 offseason.
like the Browns actually were 2 years ago. This Jets thing is made up. More like the Browns, right? Baker was an amazing rookie. They get rid of a loser coach. We all like pieces. They get another draft pick. They get more pieces. They were like worse next year or last year. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, that
You're taking
Denver.
Raiders for Tim and I. The coin also on Denver. Tim, your mighty Rams are hosting Seattle, coming off a big loss. Rams are favored by 255.5 is the over-under. This game is a pure no bet for me. I really want to take the Seahawks, but I actually think the Rams are going to win. So I'm going to take the Rams. Tim, who are you taking?
So don't be mad at me, but you know what I'm about to do. About to tease the Rams through 0.
Can I change?
They're going to win it. They're going to win.
What's going on over there?
He's teasing the Rams to +5 from -2.
Yeah, but he
I
seems
hate
very
teasing through
labored.
0.
He seems labored speaking.
I
about
am.
it.
I've got my hands over my face, which is a bad thing to be doing when you're on a podcast. Because it's tore. I hate teasing through 0 because I know better. But come on, they're going to win. The Rams are coming off a bye. The Rams are probably as good, if not better, football team.
I'm switching my pick to Seattle.
Seattle's a little more labored. Seattle's defense can't stop anybody. The reason Seattle can't win the Super Bowl is right now is because they can't stop anybody. They can't get there. The Rams have offensive pieces that can click. The Rams should be able to score a lot of points in this game. The Rams are coming off just a calamity of errors 2 weeks ago against the Dolphins, where unlike Arizona, which just humiliated itself by just allowing the Dolphins to do that, like the Rams just fell apart. It was mistake after mistake after mistake. It was just a calamity. So I can almost write that off. And I don't want to stand like I'm out here on the moor like King Lear trying to proclaim the Rams are great and everyone else thinks I'm crazy. Like the Rams are not the best team in football, but I think that this is a darn good team and they should be getting more respect than this. And they're the play. Give me the Rams.
I totally forgot that the Rams have only beat the NFC East plus Chicago, who's apparently no good. That against a
And
division.
Jamal Adams has been terrible. Thank God we got 2 picks for him, right? He's been bad.
I mean, he's missed half the games, hasn't he?
Yeah, and the ones he's playing, the Seahawks would have been better off if he hadn't shown up.
Then how come when I say that about Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold's still great?
Oh no, Sam's had problems, and Sam's not getting the help he deserves.
Okay. I'm going to take Seattle. Yeah, the Rams can't beat anyone who's not terrible. So Seattle, pretty good. Let's take Seattle. Coming off the loss probably helps them too.
I mean, you just said it going out the door there, Pat. I can think of Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, like all these upper pantheon QBs. I swear they're hitting at 90% this year after like a bad loss.
So Seattle?
Yeah, it's like the blind reason. Wilson, Carroll. Carroll got paid the morning of the game too. Probably not like a good thing. Well,
You buy so much gum.
Yeah. Seattle bounce back. I do worry. It's like that Rams game versus Miami is a total write-off. They want a nice game on a short week. before, and a team with a bye, emotionally inspired with the fresh face of the franchise playing. But I like Seattle to be serious here.
San Francisco and New Orleans. Tim's buddy verified on Twitter, Nick Mullins, I think is starting for San Francisco. It's him or Guilty Beathard, I don't know. But the Saints looked like a real team when Michael Thomas came back all of a sudden. And I guess it's 9.5 is the spread, 50 is the over-under. Because I made this point a few weeks ago on the show. Someone even asked me on Twitter, and I actually don't have an idea. Was that game against Tampa the point of the season we see from the Saints every single year where all of a sudden they just decide to be good on defense again? They've been bad on defense, and all of a sudden they're good on defense. Or do they just have Tampa's number?
See, I thought you were going to turn into, is that the game that always happens in early middle of the season where everyone comes on and says Brady's done, he sucks, and then he's playing in a Super Bowl like 2 months later?
That is also the other part of it too. I have no worries about Brady or Tampa Bay. Like, I've been down on them all year, but I don't think they're a bad team. They can definitely contend for the Super Bowl. But with the Saints, I think it was like 2 years ago. It's like, oh my God, their defense sucks so much. How are they ever going to do it? They were supposed to have a good defense coming into the year. Then the second half of the year, they were like the second best defense in the league. Same thing basically happened last year with them. And now everyone kind of got healthy on the defensive side of the ball. Their offense is now healthy all of a sudden. Turns out Breeze was dealing with like a bit of a shoulder injury. He even looked a lot better when it came down to it. When your only play isn't 3-yard pass to Elvin Kamara, your offense looks a little bit better. The number doesn't seem high. The number doesn't seem high enough.
We see this every year where a team starts off 4-3, 4-4, and they just have tremendous injuries and they just can't recover, and they win like 5 or 6 games. And that's who the Niners are. Just they have passed the point of no return. They're done. We're going to tease the Saints down. We're going to take the Saints here. I feel bad for San Francisco. I like the core guys they have, but they're just too injured. And they're just not going anywhere. And it's not the usual, like, oh, well, the team that lost the Super Bowl just played really badly, and that's why they struggled. The principal reason this team is going nowhere is because they've just had terrible injury luck.
Yeah, well, they don't have the good Bosa.
They didn't even get a chance to, like, play the game this year.
Exactly. It's like they just never had an opportunity. So I feel for them.
And it will get framed as, like, a Super Bowl loser having a horrible season in the historical context of, oh, look at their win-loss record the year after the Super Bowl. Yes, that one we will know. Will certainly feel different. Tim said everything. To me, we might get a couple moments where San Francisco plays their heart out on prime time, maybe in a division down the stretch. I'm certainly they'll have those games because defending Super Bowl team, I'm sure they're in primetime slots late that will go, ugh. Those will be games they might compete in. This will not be one of them.
I don't know what to make of this 9.5. Why isn't this 14 if the Saints are going to stomp them by so much? Like, who is looking at this and saying, give me San Francisco? I just don't feel like it's anybody.
I know, especially after the Sunday night win. It should be 14. The public would bear 13.
And don't forget, we just had San Francisco in prime time, and they were horrible and lost to Green Bay. And they get the extent.
I do feel like you're trying to be. Feel like you're being baited to take the Saints, but I'm a fish, and I'm going to grab that bait.
I'm going to take the Niners plus 9.5. I think this number gets even bigger. So if you're going to bet it, wait. If it starts moving to like 8.5, it's like, ooh, boy, here we go. But you get the extended week for San Francisco. Mostert's coming back. Maybe they get their offensive line is still pretty good. They can still generate some pressure. It's, an emotional high from kicking the shit out of Tampa Bay on Sunday night. So it's a bit of a more condensed week for them, even though they're coming back home. But I don't know. There's just something fishy about this number, so I'm going to take
every parlay.
Every parlay, every tease
will have the Saints in it.
Everything is going to have the Saints in it. The win your money back bet of the week isn't after they lose the Masters, then lose on the Chargers. They're going to go double chasing and betting on the Saints.
You sound right, and maybe we should focus on what Sunday night brings. And on that note, I hate going backwards.
This isn't the Sunday night game. Sorry,
I wanted Miami, Arizona to go to overtime so badly. For the teams off overtime stat could have then been in play for the Chargers this week for a game I wanted to Superlock. So thanks for coming short on the kick, pal.
Sunday evening, Baltimore at New England. I was thinking about this for Superlock territory. You know who crushes really bad teams?
Yeah.
The Ravens.
Baltimore.
You know who's a bad team? The Patriots. Give me Baltimore
Doesn't this feel like it's over with 10 minutes left in the second? You
This
could
feels
do
like
whatever you want, unless you've got prop bets.
Yeah, this feels like it's a really grind. Like the Cam and the Patriots will have like one really good drive. People will be like, oh my God, the Patriots are going to win this game. They had the comeback against the Jets. They'll get up 7-0. And like Lamar will rush like 2 60-yard touchdowns on the next 2 drives. Or it'll
And
be
Harbaugh hates the Patriots and will relish
like
this.
the Ravens killed the Patriots anyway. Now they're having good players.
I guess something we should think about maybe down the stretch this year is teams will relish an opportunity to not just beat the Patriots, but to run up the score. And now you get, you know what? Let's have this conversation. Do you give any credence to this Bill Belichick? Like that, in the same way that like the Brady rumors started early and didn't go anywhere last year, and in the end they ended up being true. He was not going to play there again. The same sorts of high-end people, well, they're dinosaurs. You could debate their credibility. You know, Peter King was pushing the Brady will not be in New England last year. And he's the guy from a like regal NFL media standpoint pushing this Belichick thing. And people even joke Jacksonville, like with Justin Fields or Lawrence or the Chargers.
Would you want Belichick to coach the Chargers next
See,
year?
remember how we pursued Brady? I think it would be perfect. You get Belichick, that's like the Brady, but we have the young quarterback. Like we get the other part of the sauce. We're in LA. Coaches are like a thing. Not a thing, but like making noise on a sports scene is a thing for the same reason they wanted Brady. I would like this would actually make a lot of sense. Spanos family might be too cheap for that.
I mean, you might get the bad Harbaugh.
And the other, I hate that rumor. People have been throwing that one at me too. That Harbaugh's going to leave Michigan or get fired from Michigan.
I would take Harbaugh in a second.
He's an NFL coach, right?
Yes, to me, he's an NFL coach.
Coach,
and you hire him for 3 years, and you no matter how well he does, just don't bring him back for the 4th year.
And keep him away from Jim Schwartz so they don't get into a fight.
But people are like, Bill,
about that.
There's like,
One thing to add just before we get into this, the Cardinals play the Seahawks Thursday night next week. Don't like that, considering I picked the Cardinals and the Seahawks.
Shit. And normally I look at that. That's one of those
I'm
things.
feeling
If
real
I want
good
to bet
about my picks.
That's one of those things when I bet the other side, I'll look at and use as my case, but it's not on my side.
So yeah, it's irrelevant.
I'm not talking about it.
Cardinals and Seahawks get 2 primetime games against each other this season. Wow.
They're fun. They're fun games.
I want to go. I want to go back to this. There's like Jacksonville, full fucking control, like full everything, like the whole ship, like Parcells in Miami.
I'm confused.
Right?
Like, because Jacksonville basically did the same thing to Tom Coughlin too.
Not like coach.
No, but they let him like run everything. Like you get to pick your guy, you get to pick the GM, you basically get to make all the moves. Why are they doing this like 70-year-olds? Like find a good 50-year-old and do that too. Because if it works, then you get Belichick, the next Belichick for 20 years.
I think they're trying to be not like the complete opposite of like an owner that thinks he knows something by just saying, I'm Mr. Khan, I'm a billionaire. My son's around, but we are going to hire a football man and we are like not involved in football ops at all. Like you can't blame us for bad football ops decisions. You can just blame us for the hiring of the guy at the head of football ops. That's all we're responsible for. And Belichick old guy, Florida. I don't know. It's really like a scuzzy part of Florida, but it's Florida.
Maybe you can just get Robert Kraft.
Actually, Jacksonville's apparently on the up.
On the ups?
Yeah. Big time. I don't really know much. I take back throwing shade at it.
Jacksonville hates Geoff Fienberg.
No, but they say it's one of the reasons like Tagliabue's not in the Hall of Fame. Like, what the fuck's a team doing in Jacksonville? But the league is national. It almost proves the point. A team could be anywhere. It plays under the shield. It really
could. I feel like a team could be anywhere.
Anywhere. Like when Jacksonville gets a superstar elite World 1 quarterback, they don't need to worry about losing him like a baseball team. They'll franchise tag him,
basketball team.
And they'll pay him. Yeah, or the basketball player. They'll pay him, and they'll be good. A good regular team. Like that's why football is the best.
So are you taking Baltimore here?
Yeah, just like you could consider maybe a Baltimore minus 13.5 just for shits and giggles.
How about Baltimore minus 41?
If Bryson wins, why? What do they call though? There's ones where like you literally bet. You make money or lose money based on how much or little they cover, like by point.
Do you know that there's a bet that is Bryson DeChambeau longest drive versus like people's passing yards in a game? this weekend.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Oh, I do have I won't be able to drop this since we've already done the master show. I got some insight from on the grounds at Augusta. I got the moles everywhere, Geoff. That Bryson was playing with Jason Day today. On number 8, Bryson flew the bunkers down the right-hand side twice. And Jason Day turned to the guy next to me. He's like, I feel like Matthew Fitzpatrick.
That is great.
That's an encouraging sign for our Bryson money. Tim Bryson's not going to win.
Can I
right?
give a birdie word that I got
He's not
today?
my pick, but I mean, listen, he just tore up the hardest course in the world.
Yeah, but you said this isn't
No
the
one else
hardest course.
No, exactly. Like, and if he can do that at Winged Foot, he can definitely do this at Augusta. But like, I'm not picking him. I've got other guys. I mean, power matters, but the track record show there's more than just power that matters at Augusta. And plus, who knows what the greens are going to be like? Who knows what the chipping's going to be like? There's so many variables and question marks that I'm not super confident about anybody. Like,
You picked Rory, didn't you?
I think Rory's going to win because I got to make a pick. Rory to me is the best golfer pound for pound in the world. I would take him over anyone if my life depended on it. In one round of golf, I would pick Rory, and so I think he's going to win here. Plus, it would be such a great story for him to finally get that career Grand Slam. So I'm rooting for him too.
And I think the fact that he's
not
like kind
confident
of
in it.
so under the radar works for him this week. Like he's not even his Grand Slam chase isn't even like a top 4 story at the moment.
Until he's the co-leader on Saturday, and then that's the story.
And then the Tims of the world come out, and probably including Tim, be like, well, if he wins it in November, it doesn't even count anyway.
No, of course it counts.
Really?
They're having the tournament.
That seems like a very un-you type of take.
They're having the tournament. All the players are playing under the same conditions. It's a weird year. You have to make exceptions in this year.
Okay. Are you taking Baltimore too?
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Tease them down to 0.
Shoot, that's the play. Which game am I bricking a teaser with the Ravens on?
The Chargers. You can tease them up to 9.
Well,
Or 8.
obviously that.
I don't think they'll play.
Tease up the next game too, because that's free money.
Oh, okay. Monday night game.
Wait, you're betting on Kirk Cousins?
No, he's going to be betting
the
on.
opposite.
Yeah, he's going to be betting on Foles.
Getting 3 points at home.
It does feel like a really stupid number, but Chicago has been bad. Like bad. They were my super lock last week. I watched the Titans-Bears game pretty intensely. Not great, Bob.
The Titans secondary's been
Cousins has never
atrocious.
won a
The
Monday night
Bears
game.
couldn't move the ball at all in the air, right?
What's that?
The Titans secondary gave up yards to anyone and everything, and the Bears can't move a ball.
Well, I mean, Foles, I think, ended up throwing for over 300 yards.
But it was late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Vikings, since Dalvin Cook has come back, they look like legit good.
I'm taking Kirk Cousins to win in prime time because it's a real opportunity to effing do it. That's that's all I'm going
I think
by.
it's insane that they're 3-point favorites on the road in this game. Insane that that's the line. This should be Chicago -3.
So you're
the
teasing
teaser
them up
goes
to
to
9?
10.
Go to 10.
So we're going to tease the Bears up to 10. I think this is silly. This is a massive overreaction on Minnesota and Chicago for that matter. Yeah, love the Bears. Love the Bears.
Chicago's dropped 3 in a row now?
Get it. Understand. Vikings are still terrible.
They were 5-0, right?
5-1.
So they've lost 2.
5-1,
They
yeah.
lost to the Rams in Les Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have good losses. The Bears have good losses,
They beat the Bucks. They haven't lost
which is a big win.
before these losses.
I guess, playing outdoors, playing at home, probably going to be, it's not going to be like frigid on Monday night. It's not going to be warm by any means. And then you have the Kirk Cousins factor that he sucks on Monday night games. But just like everything on paper points to Minnesota. I will not be betting this game.
Does it get to 2.5? Or does it get to 4?
I think that people will bet Minnesota.
Because they're just Dalvin, like it's just cool.
Dalvin's carrying my fantasy team. Minnesota's good all of a sudden. But it's one of these things where the deficiency of Minnesota, I mean, I don't know how they stopped Aaron Rodgers in the Aaron Rodgers game. Like, even to watch, it's like, what's going on here? Like, are they playing like voodoo mind tricks with him? Like he's like hypnotized, not throwing the ball accurately enough? But it's going to be... The swing to this is Chicago wins or loses by 3, and the game is like 17-14, 15-12.
Yeah, someone's up 2 or 1 with a last second field goal.
And there's just
regardless.
barely any scoring in this
And
game.
in those types of games, you want nothing to do with Kirk Cousins.
And you want to just take the field goal, but I'm taking Kirk Cousins and laying the field goal.
All right. Let's recap. Actually, no, Superlocks. To me, it's down to, although I might have to take Miami now.
No, you said the game, Tim. One of Tim's games.
No, I actually do. I either want Baltimore or I want Cleveland. One of those two. Those are the two games
I mean, take Miami. I don't.
well, no,
let's go.
I wasn't going to take Miami until Tim started talking about Miami.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to take Cleveland minus 3.5 against Houston.
Cleveland. Tim picks weird hills to die on.
And you're taking the Chargers minus or plus 2.5.
And I want you to know that I do that seldomly. That is something when I super lock these.
Well, you're
suckers,
7-2 in Superlocks. Everyone you pick wins.
Yeah,
Almost.
I'm tempted to chase. I'm tempted to tail them.
You should.
It's between them and the Bears.
You should really take the Chargers because you hate Miami so much.
Well, just Miami's are such frauds.
No,
And like the Chargers can't keep losing like this. So yeah, give me the Bolts.
Yeah, there we go. Bolt up, Tim.
it's my
Win for me.
7-2 super lock, but his 2-7.
The very movable object against the unstoppable item.
Wait! Did you just try to mimic my fight for me lightning bolt Sunday tweet?
100% I just did.
I'm
for
going to
me.
feel really stupid when Deshaun Watson drops like 5 touchdowns on the Browns and then the Ravens beat the Patriots by 45. Tim, you are taking...
What's he laughing at?
Who knows?
Laughing at your reaction.
He's taking the Packers and Survivor. And do you want to recap this 7-point tease, please?
Yeah. Okay.
Or I
Packers.
can. Or I'll recap it for you. See if I got this right. Okay.
Okay.
Packers minus 6.5.
Yep.
Giants plus 10.5.
Yep.
Buffalo plus 9.
Yep.
Rams plus
No.
5.
No. Buffalo's not on there. No.
You put Buffalo
Yeah, we
on
bullied
there.
you into it, and you
Take
accepted.
Buffalo off of it. I agree. Get him out of there.
You were so confident in the game, and then
I'm looking at on my slip here. Packers, Giants.
Pat
Ravens,
talked you into
Rams, Bears, Saints.
Do you not remember what
You don't
happened?
remember what
You
happened?
don't want
What-
Buffalo.
Do we have to replay the clip?
Oh no, that's right. Because I took the Saints off and I put Buffalo on.
You never took the Saints off. You played the Saints anyway.
Yeah, you just added a game, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
You could probably take them off.
Why would you take
Oh,
the Saints
well,
off?
Then I have a 17 tease. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it's
terrible.
too many. I would take
more
Buffalo
farms,
off.
more farms.
Yeah. So
Whatever. It's worth plus 536 farms. So I guess we're going with it.
You win this.
Yeah,
You're
Pat-
up money for the year, Tim.
Oh, that's right. Packers, Giants, Ravens, Rams, Bears, Saints, Bills. Bet the farm, win over 5 farms. And we're 2 weeks away from our opportunity for the double hit on Thanksgiving. Things are turning in the right direction here if we get this win.
Now,
Thanksgiving next.
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. 2 weeks.
So
From now.
3 years ago, you did win both of the teasers that week. But every year since, you've lost both of them.
It's literally.
Yeah, well, I got screwed in that Saints Falcons game, if you remember.
It was like 3 years
It's
ago. And it wasn't
literally
even
the
close.
most pathetic thing that you hold on to this. Middling a day of teasers 3 years ago.
4 years ago now.
It's real to me.
That's one of his 8 career wins in this. Remember, once again, Tim is 2-7 for the year and 8-74 lifetime. 2 wins in a year is a lot for you.
You're like
We're ahead of pace here.
You're like Adam Gase reminding us about some 2015 win as the Dolphins coach. Right
is the
now.
Broncos OC.
Well, I'm clinging on what I can cling on, other than I'm navigating potentially a second perfect season in Survivor.
Which you are now currently halfway through.
More than halfway through.
Have you entered? Are you actually playing for any money?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
how are you doing in your Survivor League, Tim?
I already won it weeks ago.
Oh. How many people were in it?
Not that many.
Yeah.
It didn't have a lot of uptake this year because of COVID, I guess. But
Well, I'm going to be rooting for you because you're going to end up winning no money again when you go perfect.
can't happen twice, could it?
I'm getting.
You're like being struck by lightning twice.
I know someone who's been struck by lightning twice. I think it becomes a lot more likely after you get struck the first time. I think you're like magnetic or something. Like powder. Wasn't he struck by lightning?
He was. Dolphin fans are hitting me up right now.
Dolphins fans
Friends.
hope they got to be loving Tim right now. They got to be.
Yeah. They're loving life. They're floating. Like,
But they gotta
Tim's
be
down.
loving
They
Tim's,
are
like-
floating.
How much he hates Tua.
I despise that team.
Did you hate him
Despise them.
before he played a game?
He
right?
hates Alabama.
He went to Alabama, and he wasn't that great there. He was overrated there too. He was good. Then you shouldn't say he wasn't good. He was good, very overrated. because he went to Alabama, and you're not allowed to say a bad thing about an Alabama player because that's against the law. But the fact that they're rated ahead of Notre Dame is an outrage.
I do remember when like drafting, and I was like just trying to defend the pick that my team had made, regardless of knowing anything. Like, if Herbert went to Alabama, he'd have been first overall.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Well, if Herbert went to Alabama, he probably wouldn't have been the starter.
That's probably true also.
So he would have had a Matt Castle-esque career where he got drafted anyway and got paid some big bucks and traded for two first.
Yeah, he was Leinart's or Palmer
and Leinart's
What
backup.
and he still plays.
Then he was Brady's backup. He got
He had
his
a
own
national
shot.
title taken.
And
from
then
him.
he went like Scott Pioli got in charge of the Chiefs, and yeah, they did a whole that.
He wasn't bad.
What wasn't bad?
He enjoyed a good bounce pass.
I
With the
believe they
best
even
of them.
led the Chiefs to the playoffs one season, if memory serves. They won the division with Matt Castle 1 year.
Yeah,
They
and
lost to Baltimore big in the first round.
And the year that he started for the Patriots were actually good.
Yeah, they had 11 wins. That was the year that we would have won the Super Bowl if Brett Favre hadn't gotten hurt.
Of course, yes. Just like that year that Phil Mickelson definitely would have won the U.S. Open that he didn't play.
Well, I probably would have won that year.
All right, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Please go check out the Masters content. I'm going to be live 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. So right now on Wednesday, taking Masters questions. Geoff and I will be live on Friday, probably around 3 p.m. Eastern Time, sweating the cut line live. Geoff will also be live 10 p.m. Wednesday evening on ftndaily.com. Tim Cust will be alive somewhere, I think. I don't know.
It's not my name.
It's a lot of McDonald's.
Yes, I will be.
Are you going to do this again for McDonald's next year, or did you just realize it was such a negative EV life decision?
I can't wait till I can do it again. Can't wait. To me, that's one of the surest signs of fall. It's raisins for Halloween candy in the stores and McDonald's Monopoly. Those are the signs to me. You can pick your flower, your leaves all you want, but those are the markers for me.
Well, now that Monopoly at McDonald's is in its off season, the man who sucks beer out of the bottom of ashtrays as his new pastime is Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
That's not my name. It's terrible.
You got to find some other low. Can you get addicted to VLTs? You really need to.
No, but several people did send some very funny tweets this week about me rummaging through the trash. I have to say, I cracked up. That was funny.
Too bad they don't have like video
before he goes
poker.
rummaging through the morning trash.
That's what VLTs are.
Yeah, at like the 7-Eleven, right?
Well, they have them at like every bar where Tim is at. You can walk in, you can get yourself a nice DC on the rocks, go play, have a cig in the cig room, and play some VLTs. That sounds pretty enticing, doesn't it, Tim?
I do like free spins.
Max spin. Well, I only lost $1,000. Nothing to Tim Too Rich. But yes.
Tim, have you ever been to a bingo hall? I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, bingo does seem right up your alley. You're like an
I've
old
played
man.
bingo before. I've played bingo
Do you
before.
have
It's
your own
okay.
personal dabber?
He'd have a koozie for his own personal dabber, and he'd probably have different colors of dabbers depending on like what the bonuses were for like that round.
No, I'm not a big bingo player, but the time or two that I've been there, like I was taken aback by how serious some people take it.
The guy driving around town to get different McDonald's Monopoly scratchies is complaining
No,
about
but how
serious.
vicious people get. Like when someone calls a bad bing.
Is that what they call it? A bad bing?
Yeah, it's
Someone calls
probably
it bad bing.
It's probably as vicious as people get who are behind you in line as you're trying to back up from a morning drive-through line because they don't have McDonald's scratchies.
Around here, there's room to easily get out of the line without interrupting anybody. Doing them a favor.
Yeah, Tim's helping them, Geoff. Want to give people out there some credit, the audio listeners out there. Rate and review if you haven't done that yet. It's especially important this time of year with football and the Masters. It's a big week for the Pat Mayo Experience where we can really go up the charts. We have hit number 1, Tim, and guess what country? We passed
Sweden?
we passed the fantasy footballers in this place.
Denmark?
China.
China, really?
Yeah, I was wondering where all the new listens were coming from. Presumably, it's China.
Gee.
So, secret Chinese spy, Tim Cust. That's what I'm thinking here. Or maybe it's
I've been
Geoff.
talking up man. We do talk about Manchu Walk at least once every 3 episodes.
We're also number 1 in Colombia. I think it's because I bet on Sebastian Munoz.
Maybe. I like that angle.
And we do talk about Hao Tong Lee a lot. I do like Hao Tong. I cheer for him.
Why do you like Hao Tong so much?
He's a grinder. I like when guys work hard at their craft and don't like just
You
shrug
don't
their
know.
shoulders.
You only know anything of him because of his range session at the U.S. Open. or
No, because he
PGA?
also picked him to win the Masters like 3 years ago for some reason.
Because he won.
I like Hao Tong.
He won. Remember, he won
The tournament that Sergio and
the
Willett won.
Sergio
Yeah.
Willett.
Yes, exactly. So I've liked Hao Tong for a while. I think he's a grinder, and I respect that type of golfer. Sorry, that's the type of golfers that I like.
You respect WeChat and the TikTok?
No, those things are demonic.
I also don't think he respects Wood.
But like Bryson puts on like 50 pounds of like mass and like.
And I got to
works
give him
out.
his credit. He won the U.S. Open.
Okay,
It worked.
fair. So
I
you
don't think
jumped
it will
over
work
now.
long term. I think it's impossible to work long term. But did it work right now? No, who could debate it? He just won the U.S. Open. He's now the co-favorite for the Masters. Obviously, something's working.
Do you think Bryson's going to win?
No, I can't see it.
Excellent news. That's what I wanted to hear before we got out of
In
here.
the end, I think his putter will let him down.
He's a world
Yeah,
class.
he's like the best putter in the field.
Of all those elite players, he's a better putter than every super elite.
Okay, well then I guess he's going to win this on Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday will just be making sure he doesn't make triple bogey on 12, right?
I would actually be here for that. And don't you go calling it over if he gets up by a bunch. Can you please promise that? There's not only me, not only Geoff,
Everyone.
probably Paul, almost everyone who watches this show has a lot of money riding on Bryson at really high odds to win
Well,
the
then
Masters.
it seems like the just thing for me to do would be to say it's over to make
You
up,
would need to
equal
shut
things
the
out
fuck
for the
up.
Danny Willett. To equal up the Danny
I
Willett.
honest to
thing.
God, will pay someone to go to your house and smash your fucking computer, your fucking phone with a goddamn hammer. If you start thinking about that. And if you don't think I'm serious, I make more money than you think. I will pay someone a lot of money to do this.
I don't intend to tweet that it's over.
Thank
I
you.
don't.
Now, if Dustin Johnson jumps up to a huge lead, you go nuts here.
We'll see. Bryson, I think, is going to struggle on Thursday. He may turn it around Friday, Saturday, but I think Thursday he's going to have some trouble.
So bet Bryson first round leader as well.
I'd be shocked if he was first round leader.
We're getting some good intel here. Getting some good intel. This is what we
He's
need
going
to
to struggle on the greens. Augusta greens are not like everywhere else.
I would think that he would struggle with his irons because that's the part of his game that isn't good.
And you need to be a good short iron striker at Augusta, particularly. So we'll see.
I mean, he's just going to drive every game. It's going to be a two.
I did see someone tweet out, and I lost it laughing that Bryson's trying to be only the second person since Zach Johnson to hit a wedge into every par 5 and win the Masters.
I retweeted
That's
that.
a great line.
Yeah.
That's a great line. That's a great line.
I wonder if he can drive one of these par 5 greens. He can figure out the right angle and just land it.
Yeah, rock off the creek, get right to the green.
Like where Sergio got stuck that year
Oh.
against Rose, like ricochet it off that, he's good to go.
That's Sergio Par on 13, right?
cost me a lot of fucking money.
That's the same hole that Phil put it between the two trees. It was 13.
Rose not winning that Masters cost me a lot.
I believe I think that's Azalea 13.
Anyway, we've gone on too long. 2 hours and 17 minutes later. I would like to thank all of you out there. Smash the like, rate, and review. Check out ftnbets.com. And if you want to get into golf, check out fantasynational.com/Mayo. Tools, projections, all that fun stuff. It's up there right now. You get 20% off if you use /Mayo. I think for the week that makes it $8. You can afford. You don't need to be Tim Too Rich to afford $8. All right. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience. Experience.